I plugged the mic in, but I'm just gonna. Is it too quiet?
We can turn up your volume on our end.
Yeah, I just during the live stream, I think it'll Austin's audio will kind of override yours.
Oh.
Okay. Because I can always turn up the volume of the mic.
Turn up the volume. Pump up the volume. One might say.
Pump up the volume. Yeah.
Thank you.
Would you like me to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here,
Give yourself an extra like 50% and see how it does.
Okay. What about now?
A little more.
Yeah.
Okay. What about now? What about now? We good now?
Sounds the same.
Yeah, it sounds like it's not changing.
Weird.
Oh, make sure it's on the correct thing on Discord.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just for his end?
Oh wait, maybe I'm not. Hold on. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, that's louder.
Shit. Okay, wait. How does this work? Okay.
Actually, pop it down just a hair.
Because I can't hear you guys.
What the fuck?
This is.
They can hear you, or you can't hear them.
Okay, so weird because I don't remember how I did this before then. Because if I plug in the my microphone to the computer, you like the microphone, like the better quality microphone. I cannot hear you because it's simply a
it's a mic and a headphone jack.
Yeah, well, I just plug into the headphone jack. I just plug my lavalier mic. So in order to hear you guys, I was just going to jump on Discord on my phone, but it won't let me be on Discord on my computer and my phone at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah.
So how did I do this in the past? Have we always done this through Discord?
Well, are you able to put your?
Wait,
do you have like a?
Or what are you on right now?
What now?
What are you on right now?
I'm on my computer. I just unplugged the microphone.
Hold on, I just broke my breakaway again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So actually, what I'm probably have to do then is I'm not going to be on Discord on my computer. I'm just going to record the audio on the computer, and I'll just be on Discord on my phone, and you guys just hear me through my phone speakers.
Yeah, that's what we did in the past.
Yeah, that sounds like the right way.
Cool. Okay. So
get a aux to USB adapter. You can plug your mic into the USB port.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's a good.
It's about $2.99 on Amazon.
Okay, that's a good strat.
I would imagine, that's what most adapters are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good strategy. I didn't even think about that. That would solve all my problems.
Yeah, I have a couple things that are going through like 3 different adapters before they plug in. I have a DVI to HDMI adapter. That one's cool.
Cool. So I'm back on my phone now. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'll actually
turn you up a little bit.
I'll just
my
turn.
end.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have them at like 50% on mine.
Oh, really? I have them at like 150.
I keep mine very quiet because my headphones are loud as fuck.
Oh, okay.
My audio driver's got some big ass nuts apparently.
Swinging that thing around.
Excuse me.
Oh, Jack.
I just love how that opened. Good stuff. All right. So I think I have everything in order and we're good to go. Oh, the audio. How did it sound on your end?
Everything sounds good for me. The live stream sounds good. It's catching everybody.
Cool.
I don't hear any echoes currently.
Good. Yeah, I think it just kind of randomly popped that.
It was just grabbing an additional feed.
Yeah, I don't know where that was coming from either. So
that would be great if I could get my fucking Audacity to grab everybody's audio off the Discord. So then only one person would have to record. And we'd automatically be synced up, you know what I mean? That'd be lovely.
You might be able to. Yeah, I don't know.
I know there's like macros and shit you can run to do it, but.
Well, I mean, you could probably just set it to pull all the audio going into the desktop. Well, I don't know, maybe.
I would definitely have to get macros to do it.
Why don't you just download the video archive and then rip the audio from that?
What?
Video archive and then rip the audio from that?
We can do that, but the audio is kind of low quality.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
That's how we started
Mhm.
when we first started doing podcasts.
Yeah, first couple episodes. It's kind of weird quality, and like Twitch really like prefers video to come through than audio. So like it will if it's got a weak connection, it'll prioritize video over the audio that's coming into it.
Oh, I see. Right. That makes sense. Okay. I'm ready to record whenever you guys are. Oh, we go to time.is, right?
Yep.
Do you guys watch BoJack Horseman?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I haven't been caught up.
I watched it like I think the first season on Netflix.
First season or two,
yeah.
Okay. The season they're on right now, they're doing a show for the website called whattimeisitRightNow.com. And the big joke is like the website's useless because there's a clock in the top right-hand corner of your computer screen. And every time they bring that up, I just think of this website, time.is.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
So we're going off New York time?
Yeah.
Yep. Whatever
Cool.
I mean, yeah, we really just go off minutes and seconds, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone go at 10?
Yeah, we'll go 10.
Red leather, yellow leather. What was the one about the feet? That one gets me.
The assailant had oddly shaped feet.
That one really fucks me up.
The Human Torch was denied a bank loan. What's your name? No, not you. Her. Lanolin? Like sheep's wool? I don't believe you.
That's funny.
What? Oh, recording.
Welcome to the Mammoth Gamescast for the week of September 17th. I'm one of your hosts, Night Swarm, and with me, as always, Filter Court.
Hey.
Hello. We also have another guest with us, a recurring guest. We have Drake with us today. What's going on, man?
Happy to be back, man. Just relaxing Sunday morning. Woke up, had some cereal, ready to talk about some games.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. So we'll start with you, man. What have you been playing?
I have been playing a lot of Spider-Man.
Yep.
And we'll get into some more Spider-Man talk in a little bit, I guess.
Mm.
And then on top of Spider-Man, I've also been playing a lot of Kingdom Hearts because I'm trying to go back through the Kingdom Hearts franchise in preparation for 3. So I've played all of them before, but just want to get caught up. Complicated. I want a refresher. I want that first-hand experience. And I bought the HD collections, and I'm never gonna.
Yeah.
After 3, why would I ever go back again? So
smart.
So now's a good time to play through them. And there's a couple I never got around to. I never did Dream Drop Distance and I'm not super familiar with the story of Codate or Key or whatever. So there's other reasons to go back through, but primarily for a refresher. And I just finished up Kingdom Hearts 1. I still really enjoy that game. It is flawed, and parts of it have not aged well, but I think there's still a lot there to love. And then I recently just started Kingdom Hearts Rechain of Memories, which is one of the ones I never played. And so I was really excited for it going in because I'd never played it. And I was so confused. I was like, so I know it was a Game Boy Color or Advanced game.
Advanced, yeah.
And then they remade PS2 game, and I was like, has that ever happened before? Have you ever taken like a 2D game and remade it into a 3D one like that? Like as a remaster, like remastering a 2D game like that. And I was just like, well, how is this going to work? I know there's like something to do with cards, but I didn't know how that system worked. It's awful. The answer is it doesn't work. It's a dumb game. It's what's so bizarre about the game. Feels like it was designed to be a free-to-play microtransaction money game.
Yep.
But it wasn't because it was made way before any of those were things. So none of the design choices make any sense. It all feels like these decisions were rooted in like, well, we're going to sell you card packs. But there's no card packs to buy. I can't spend money on this game. So nothing makes sense. So for those unfamiliar, instead of most Kingdom Hearts games where it is a action RPG, the action is kind of contingent upon you having cards. So there's a card counter in like the bottom left hand or right hand corner of the screen. You use the bumpers to like filter through your cards, and there's attack cards, magic cards, item cards. Basically anything you normally do in Kingdom Hearts is now associated with a card. And you have to play that card. When you hit the attack button X, it plays whatever card you have selected. And the enemies have cards too. And so you have to have a higher number card than your. If their opponent has a 6 and you have a 2, your attack just does nothing. You have to have a higher card than them. And then there's a button to like reshuffle your deck and get all your cards back. And so the main component of the progression in the game is rooted to going to mogul shops and buying card packs of in-game money. And these card packs are random blind packs that you get. And you just have to hope that you get good cards because you have to have a deck. Like anything below a 5 is you.
Yeah.
And as the game goes on, like it's becoming like 5s are getting more useless and 6s are getting more useless. So like eventually, like I'll just have to have a deck full of 9s to like for the game not to be super frustrating. And so like it's just you're just grinding enemies to get enough money to buy more card packs from moguls. And all this feels like it was designed to be microtransactions, but none of that's true.
What do you do with the cards that are just like useless now? Do they just stay in your deck, or can you get rid of them?
You can sell them.
Okay.
Yeah, you like build. I mean, outside of combat, you build a deck.
Yeah,
that you're taking random draws from or whatever, but it's still not good.
Yeah, you have to. So there's only a certain amount of cards you can put in your deck. Each card has a like a number on it that you have like 300 points to spend on your deck, and like each card is like this card's worth 20 points, and so that so you can't equip every card you have. You have to like kind of use and build your deck. And then as you level up, the amount of cards and the amount of like things you can have in your deck increases. So I mean, the ones that you don't use, you just sell, but you don't get a whole lot for the cards. So you basically just like buy a blind pack, you waste like 300 money, and then maybe you'll get like one good card out of that, and then you can sell the rest of the cards that you got from the pack that are useless, and you'll maybe get like 50 money from that. So you don't get a whole lot from selling them, but that's like there's nothing else to do with them. Maybe there's a card synthesis component later on in the game where you like maybe can combine 2 weak cards into a stronger card. If that's a thing in the game, I haven't gotten far enough to know it. The other thing I want to say about it that's also awful and feels like it was microtransaction, even if it's not, is the level design. So unlike every other Kingdom Hearts game where there are designed levels, every room in this game is randomly generated. It's procedurally generated. They were doing procedural generation way back when. It's just like the Alice in Wonderland world, like every room is just like a randomly generated square room
with like a checkerboard floor.
Yeah, with like different like platforms and stuff loosely based off of like the style of that world. And yeah, you just go through that. You build a room. When you get to the door, you have to use a card to open. So these are different cards than your attack cards. These are room cards. And so each card has a different effect on what the next room is going to be, but it's always going to be randomly generated. So you can, for instance, play a room card that will generate stronger enemies. And then you go in and the room is randomly generated, but the enemies in there will be stronger and stuff. So the room cards just like modify stats of the room, but there's never a designed room. It's always just like a randomly generated procedural thing.
Because of that, they all end up basically being bad.
Right, exactly. Also, what's super annoying is so the moguls, for example, that sell you the cards also have to be generated with a room card. So you have to have a mogul shop room card to generate that store and make that room into a shop. And so if you need to buy cards and you don't have a mogul room card, you have to grind enemies until someone randomly drops a mogul room cards. Cards.
And if you want to just save a ton of time in your life and you're interested in getting through, there's like a 5-hour video on YouTube of just everything important that happens in the game.
Yep. Yeah, that seems to be the way to go. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because the story in this one's actually pretty important. This is what bridges the gap.
This is vitally important between 1 and 2. Yeah, I mean, like a lot of the other games are kind of just doing their own thing, and it's like,
yeah,
it doesn't super matter like what's going on.
Yeah,
but it's like this one is vital, and in fact, 2 references it constantly.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's possible that you will have just kind of know sort of the important keys of what happens if you pay enough attention in Kingdom Hearts 2. Which if you're if you're playing any of these games, you paid enough attention.
Right. The first time I ever played through these games, I didn't know Chain of Memories existed. I bought one.
Smart.
And then I bought 2, and I was like, okay, this is the next one. It's 2.
Wasn't that a beautiful, innocent time?
I was very confused for like the first 5 hours, and I just kind of pieced it together, and I was like, okay, I get it. Right. But I mean, I've never played it. I really want to play through the collection. I really wish they just cutscene this one, because Coded and 365 divided by 2 days, or whatever that one's called, are just the cutscenes. They like, these games suck, so we're gonna like not make you, force you to play through these games. We're just gonna put this cutscene. So we're just gonna turn these into cutscenes. I really wish they had done that with Free Chain of Memories. I know why they didn't, because they wanted 2 playable games in each collection and then 1 cutscene game. But I mean, I would have been happier if I had just gotten 1 playable game and 2 cutscene games for this collection, because I don't want to play through Chain of Memories, but I will. I grinded for a while, so I think I'm pretty good now. I think I can just kind of like float through. Hopefully I can just like float through the game without too much pressure. Outside of grinding, if you strip away like grinding, the worlds are actually very short, so you can get through each world very quickly as long as you're strong enough to beat the bosses. So,
I mean, it is kind of almost like one of the fatal flaws of a lot of RPG games, and Kingdom Hearts is guilty of this too, where it's like, if you just mainline like the main content of the game, you'll get to the final boss really quickly, and then you'll be super underleveled and get fucked up forever.
Yes, I mean JRPGs have a huge problem with that in general, and it pisses me off so much. I can remember so many games where I was doing fine, like the original Persona games, like I played, had this problem too. Like I was doing totally fine, like I was doing great, and then you get to that final dungeon, that final boss, and it's just fucking impossible.
You just get fucked up over and over and over again.
And then you have to grind so much to be strong enough. It's very, very annoying. So I mean, that's what I've been playing besides Spider-Man.
So you did on Kingdom Hearts, you did 1, and then this is the next one you're playing?
Yeah.
Are you doing them in chronological order of when they release?
I'm doing them in order of release, not chronological order as far as the story goes.
Right.
Because that's originally
Birth by Sleep would be first, I guess.
Yes, kind of. So this is the weird thing, because usually when I do these, I like to do them in chronological order for the story. Like when I did this with God of War, before God of War 4 came out, I played back through them in chronological order. I did this for Metal Gear Solid before 5 came out. I played back through them in chronological order. And so this one was like, okay, I'll do that too. And so I looked up the timeline, and the timeline is like, if you look at the timeline, it's just a bunch of bars that overlap, because a lot of things happen congruently to each other. And so what order to play the game is actually like really hard to tell, because like, so many events cross over with each other that there really isn't. There really isn't a way to play these chronologically. Like, I mean, Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, like Riku's story in Chain of Memories is taking place during the opening of Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yes.
And like the Sora playthrough of Chain of Memories has already occurred.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird shit.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts Key is technically first. After that is Birth by Sleep, but some of the events at the end of Birth by Sleep happen congruently with Kingdom Hearts 1. And then Kingdom Hearts 1 happens, but then there's there's Chain of Memories. But while Chain of Memories is going on, so is 365 divided by 2 days. And then parts of Kingdom Hearts 2 happen congruently with Chain of Memories, and then Kingdom Hearts 2 is going on, and then I don't know where Coded fits into this and stuff. And so like, and then some parts of Birth by Sleep I think actually take place at the end of the timeline. Like there's like a post game dungeon you can unlock that's like actually the very end of the timeline. It's like right before the prologue part of 2.8 HD remix. So
Jesus.
it's
some real Japanese
Yeah.
bullshit, basically.
Yeah.
It was too much work to try and figure out what the chronological order was. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go through the order of release. That's probably going to be in the story anyway. He's just playing through it in the order they came out. Because the story does start relatively simple. What?
I mean, it would have been fine for them to go, this is 1. Okay, this one's like 2. And then this one's like 3, even though it's garbage. And like, that would have been fine, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, the story starts simple enough. Kingdom Hearts 1 story is actually pretty simple.
Yeah.
I mean, compared to like.
I'm curious, how did you like early on when you name the ship and you have to jump from that platform to platform? Do you remember doing that?
Yeah.
How was that?
I
feel like
reloaded
that
like
aged
5
like
times.
I feel like that aged like shit. Like that was annoying to do initially.
Yes.
Yeah, the platforming is really stiff. It's really stiff platforming. I still like it a lot because that's like jumping in video games and like you unlock cool things like the high jump and the glide and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah, like especially like at the beginning, like platforming is so stiff, and so I kept jumping and thinking like I should absolutely be hitting these platforms. You just kept slipping off.
Yep.
Good.
I remember there's a glide. There's like a zip line. You can climb up this tower and take a zip line. It's the fastest way to get there. It's the way you're supposed to beat Riku. But every time I would jump to it and you sort of just would not grab the zip line.
He would just like shoot off to the side.
Well, I mean, he even has issues grabbing like the ladder to get up to the zip line sometimes.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the guy that was able to get to level 100 on the Destiny Islands?
Yes, I did. And
absolute madman.
Why? Like, what does he gain out of that?
What do you gain from playing any of these games? God damn it!
What satisfaction does he achieve from like that's like 100 hours?
He did. It was like 115 hours it took him to do it, or something like that.
Yeah.
Why?
He's getting less than a level an hour.
That's insane, man. Why would you do that to yourself?
Just to be an absolute legend.
I guess.
Never
I don't
forget.
know, man. That's an amount of time I cannot fathom having.
It wasn't until this conversation that I remembered that the currency in the game is called money, and then it made me laugh.
MUNNY. Yeah.
The way money's supposed to be spelled, the way it makes sense.
Real shit.
Money.
But yeah, I reloaded to beat Riku like a bunch because I really like wanted to win that tournament.
Yeah.
That little race. I named it but the thing is though, his idea of calling it the High Wind is a good idea because that's like a Final Fantasy reference.
SIDS,
so, but I didn't want to just name it the thing he wanted though, so I changed it to the High Water.
Come hell or high water, I will beat this race. God damn it. That's funny.
So, the gummy ship.
Okay, High Wind as named by Sora.
Last thing
Sora's High Wind.
Last thing I'll say about Kingdom Hearts is the gummy ship building mechanics in 1 is like so bad. I could not figure out how to do it. I could not figure out how to actually make a ship. The controls were so obtuse. I just kept,
if you read because it gives you like a couple journal entries or whatever on how to build like gummy construction and everything. If you read it, it doesn't. You can have it open on one screen and be making it in the other screen. And it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
it's so hard.
I remember playing it originally and trying to create this gummy ship and just going, fuck it, I'm just gonna put this gun here and I'm gonna go play.
Yep.
And then
I just
it was probably like hours later when I had that opportunity again. I was like, okay, I'm gonna sit down and learn this, figure out how it works. I feel like that's how a lot of people went though.
Yeah.
Like
go through as much as you can until you start failing, and then like, okay, I'm actually gonna do this now.
I think you get through the whole game with the original ship. That's what I did.
You should be able to,
use the original one. What's weird though is they give you gummy ships you can't use because there's no cockpit.
Yep.
Like they give you a gummy ship that like looks like a cactar, but you can't fly it because there's no cockpit.
Yep.
Why?
Just to fuck around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how long did it take you to beat the first Kingdom Hearts? And then what's your track on this one? Because I don't think you're going to be able to beat them all in time.
That's a good question. I don't think I will, but I'm going to try. So I am playing. I remember when I was playing these. First time I played Kingdom Hearts was in high school. And what I remember was that the final boss was really fucking hard in both Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. I just remember that being like hair-pullingly difficult.
Each one's got like 3 layers to beat.
Yeah. And so I had a rule. I was like, if I've played the game before, I'm playing it on easy mode this time.
Yes.
Because I'm just here for the prove. I already beat these games the regular way. Unfortunately, Chain of Memories, I have to play on normal because I've never played that one before. But like 1, 2, Birth by Sleep, I'm going to play all those easy mode. So I played Kingdom Hearts 1 easy mode, and I beat it in 25 hours. So
that's pretty quick.
I imagine, it's not too bad. I remember that game being like 40 hours. I don't think there's any universe where that game is 40 hours. It's a pretty quick game, but you can probably add like 10 hours for, at most, like if you play it in normal difficulty. So I think that game's probably around like a 30, 32, maybe 35 hour long game if you play it on normal. And then, 25 if you're going easy mode. And I mean, that was main story plus some extras. I got all the Dalmatians, but I didn't get all the Trinities, and I didn't do like all the mini games and stuff. So there's not too many side quests in that game anyway, so there's not a whole lot. But I mean, that was main story plus a little bit of extras.
Okay.
And Chain of Memories, I am 5 to 6 hours into, and I'm only on the third world.
That's when I quit. Like 3 hours in, I was like, okay, I get it.
Okay. No, I'm gonna beat it. I'm here for the long haul. But I'm flying now. So as long as what fucked me up was one of the bosses in Alice in Wonderland World, the ones where you're fighting all the cards. The play was small. And here's the other thing that's fucking frustrating about Chain of Memories is the goddamn there is no iframes. So at any point, if you get hit during an animation, your attack is canceled.
Yep.
So you're fighting in a really small environment when you fight the deck of cards from the queen's cards, and there was like so many enemies in such a small space. I had no room to do like any of my animation. Kept getting interrupted, and I kept dying, and so I had to grind to get my health bar up, and I had to grind to get better cards. So like that had like quicker animations and stuff. Like I figured out which attacks had the quickest animation, and then I grinded to get high level cards for that attack, and then that took me forever. And then finally I got done with that. Like 5 hours in, I was like, cool, I got like a bunch of high level cards. My health bar is super long. This should no longer be a problem, and I get through it. But now I feel like I'm probably a little over leveled to where I should be. So I think I'll hopefully just be able to fly through maybe like a world or two before I like hit a grind again. So I'm hopeful that it won't be too long. A great resource for you and your viewers, if they don't already know about this, is howlongtobeat.com. You guys familiar with this? Yep. Love howlongtobeat.com. Howlongtobeat.com says that Rechain Memories is 20 hours. So I'm hoping that's true. And if that, I'm like, what's 5 hours out of 20? Was that like 1/5 of the way through? 1/4?
Fourth.
Fifth? Yeah.
Quarter.
I don't know how math works. That's simple division. I should be able to figure that out very easily, but I can't.
Public school.
Yeah.
Gets every time.
So yeah, I mean, hopefully it's not too bad. But after that, I get that sweet 365 divided by 2 movie that I get to sit back and watch.
Yeah, it's like 4 hours.
Yeah, that's gonna be a joy though to like not have to play through that one, just like sit back and watch that cutscenes. Because I remember I actually played that one way back in the day on the DS.
A lot of people played that one, and it was like, okay, I'm not playing any more of these like off-brand Kingdom Hearts games because these are pure shit.
Yeah, it wasn't awful. I think I heard Recoded was worse. And it's I would play 360 for Chain of Memories any day. Like,
for sure.
365 is a better game than Chain of Memories. If anything, they should just switch those. Which one they made into cutscene, which one you got to play. But I remember I really liked the story for that one because you get to meet most, or not, if not all, of the Organization 13 members. And I just found so many of those people fascinating because by the time you get to 2, a lot of them are just dead. I mean, spoilers.
Right.
But like, a lot of them die. A lot of them die off screen, and that pissed me off. I was like, "What? No, these like seem so." I'm really excited for 3. It seems like everyone's back, and I don't know how, but it seems like everyone's back.
It's Kingdom Hearts. Who fucking knows?
Yeah.
It's probably a prequel. Kingdom Hearts 3 is canonically like right after Key or whatever.
Right before the
Right.
original Metal Gear.
Right, that's it. Snake.
Snake!
Um,
They're gonna worm their way on into that.
real quick before we move on, just like a quick fun. If you have one world Disney property that is not currently announced for Kingdom Hearts 3, but you would like in Kingdom Hearts 3, what would it be?
Interesting. Star Wars. That's an easy answer. I don't think that's accurate though.
What do you mean?
I don't know if Star Wars would actually be good.
Oh, I
in-
would hate.
in
I would hate it.
universe.
I would
feel like it'd be
absolutely
bad.
hate it. It would be. It's just not Disney enough. You know what I mean? Like I don't want
Yeah.
Star Wars. I don't want Marvel. They're not
yeah.
Up.
Disney enough.
And in the up world, everybody you love dies. That'd be brutal.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, I feel like they've hit a lot of the things that Toy Story was a really big one for me. So that would have been the one that I had said.
I've been wanting
Cars.
Jungle Book World forever. I'm never getting that.
They did Jungle Book. Oh, Jungle Book. I was thinking Tarzan.
Yeah, it was Tarzan. I actually really like the Tarzan world.
Point out two differences between Tarzan and Jungle Book.
One's got a talking cat and bear duo, buddy cop.
The actual answer
Rosie
is one's in
O'Donnell.
Africa and one's in India, right?
I have no idea.
I believe that's correct.
I think that is correct, though. And the other one I actually thought would be really interesting. This one's not going to make. I mean, there's two that would be great Kingdom Hearts worlds, but they're not going to make it in because those properties were not popular enough. But I mean, just such a great Kingdom Hearts world. And I also think Hunchback of Notre Dame would be really cool too. But I mean, neither of those
I don't
are
think
popular
that.
enough to make it. And
It'd be sick to just run around the Notre Dame Cathedral, though.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, just trying to think of something.
I want to see another musical level, like
okay.
Atlantica or whatever.
Right, like what they did for Atlantis in Kingdom Hearts 2.
Right.
Brent, it'd be nice if there were mini worlds. Like it doesn't have to be because the worlds in Kingdom Hearts 3 are so big and like expansive and like open world environments. And like not every property is going to lend itself to that. Like Notre Dame doesn't need to be a giant like open world of Paris. Like it could just be the cathedral, and I'd be so happy with that.
It's just Assassin's Creed what's Unity, but with Sora running around.
Their faces are all flipped and inverted.
Jesus. I honestly cannot believe there's not a Cars world. I'm shocked.
I don't really like Cars.
Nobody likes Cars.
Yeah, I don't like Cars that much either. I'm grateful there isn't. But it's such a popular brand. I think because that would have to be just a racing world, right? Like Sora would just turn into a car.
Yeah.
And that would have to be a little racing mini game.
Goofy would turn into Larry the Cable Guy.
Jesus. I love that they're going in on changing the character models to fit the worlds. Monster Goofy and Monster Donald are just so funny to me.
Yep.
But anyway, we can move on.
Cool.
All right. Yeah. I mean, we're definitely. So yeah, I've been, of course, playing Spider-Man because I'm not an idiot. It's pretty great. So we're gonna dig into that. But the other thing I've been kind of touching on, which I can already tell this is gonna deeply fuck me up. I've been playing Dragon Age Origins again. So I got all of the. They're all backwards compatible now on the Xbox One. All the Dragon Age games.
Oh, cool.
And all their DLCs. So I have all the games and DLCs. I already owned them. I just had to unlock the digital version of the game for 1 and 2. So I went ahead and did that. I've been playing through Origins.
Do you just pop in the disc and it's like, cool, you own this, and so it gives you the download prompt?
No, if you have the disc, then you just play it off disc.
Okay.
And it remembers all your purchases of DLCs and things like that.
Whoa, that's actually pretty impressive.
I don't want the discs because I don't want the ability to ever not have it. So I got them digital. I mean, if Microsoft takes it away, I guess they'll take it away, but it wouldn't work on disc at that point anyways either. So, but yeah, so I got them digitally, so I always have access to them, and I can move them on different consoles and shit as whatever happens. So yeah, I've been playing that. It runs great. This thing does not hiccup for a second. On the 360, it used to. There could be some little moments of interruptions when there was a lot of shit going on in the game, and it's been running really great. I would really like a HD remaster, but I can live with it not having that.
I would
EA's
actually I would really be interested in
What now?
an HD remaster.
You can do 1 and 2 with all DLCs remaster. Charge $60 for it.
Yeah, I'd probably buy that.
Yeah, me too.
EA's weird about their remasters though. They've
Mhm.
only remastered Burnout Paradise because I thought a remastered trilogy of Mass Effect was a lock, and it never happened.
Nope. They'll re-release it 100 times, but
They haven't. There is no way to play Mass Effect on current gen systems unless it's like backwards compatible or something.
yeah, on
There's,
Xbox
like-
you can. They're all backwards.
Yeah, but there was never like any kind of re-release on modern systems. That's so weird because that one's so like such a no-brainer. Because there's a
Yeah.
trilogy collection on the PS3 that even includes the first one.
Yep.
It's like why? And like it's just EA is just like weird about doing a remaster.
On PC, there's some really good fan mods that up-res it and
That's cool.
fix some shit. Of course, I mean that's true of every game probably.
And I was looking into this. So the reason EA doesn't really like doing remasters is because they're afraid it's like looks bad. It looks like they're out of ideas.
Oh my god!
Seriously?
As if EA doesn't already fucking look like it's out of ideas.
Yeah, they're
That's what you're worried about.
They use one
You
fucking
of all
engine.
people? You of all people. That's so funny.
Jesus Christ.
It's
Well, I mean, we
crazy,
might hear
yeah.
something about that because the Kingdoms of Amalur license was acquired by Deep Silver, right?
Yep.
No,
or-
Nordic.
Nordic, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Which
might as well be the
that's
same thing.
crazy. That's crazy
yeah,
that they
they-
bought that.
Well, yeah, Deep Silver was originally in the works, and then they acquired Deep Silver, so they just continued doing the license
Right.
deal. But
Yes.
yeah, so they said that they would not be able to make a HD remake unless EA signs off on it, which they won't.
Whoa! Oh, so EA published.
Mhm.
So EA has publishing rights to Amalur still.
The original.
Yeah.
Yeah, they still own the publishing rights
But-
for the first game. It was in perpetuity.
Huh.
So
But Nordic
Huh.
owns the property, and like I look at it, I was like, if there's a game that you want like a sequel to, or something
a
like
retry.
that, yeah, like a retry, like I don't know how it works if you try to do like not a remaster or a remake, but like a reboot of a title. I don't
You'd be
know
able to
how
do
that works. I don't know the legalities of them doing that and getting around EA. But if there's anyone that's going to do some shit like that and make the sequel or whatever of the game that you want, it's going to be THQ Nordic because they make
Yep.
everything. Always,
THQ,
all the
Deep,
time.
Nordic. Who else did they acquire? Just put all the names together into one big one.
Yeah,
Well, Deep Silver owned another company. 'Cause
Yeah.
Deep Silver was just a publishing arm. I'm gonna look at what all THQ Nordic owns, and we're all
Okay.
gonna collectively shit. But yeah, let's go ahead and start digging into Spider-Man.
okay. Yeah, well, the
Can I
first
say
thing
one
that
more thing about Amalur.
yeah, go ahead.
So to me, there is no value in that purchase. There is no cachet behind the King of Amalur IP. Why would you?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know, dude.
That
I
was
mean,
a
first of all, they
really
probably
fun
got
game.
it really cheap. I would imagine.
Yeah.
They they weren't when the original company was going out of business, 38 Studios, they weren't able to sell the license for the game. Like they weren't offered $1. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like it was so like tainted by the fall of this company and like the fact that it ended up
Which
taking
seems
down
silly.
Kurt Schilling of all people, which is really weird. Well, I mean, it was all bad investments. Like,
But I mean, the property was good. The game was.
I mean, they way overspent on it. I mean, they went all out. They had like top tier developers that they brought out of retirement. And they paid a massive premium for. They had fucking, God damn it! I broke my breakaway again. I keep doing this. They paid R.A. Salvador to write the story and some of the world information and stuff. Like, I mean, they went all out. It was mega expensive. And
but it's like they went under. That's done. Look, it's already set up. Like, why not?
yeah, but I mean, it's
continue?
tough because it's hard to say if the assets survived. Like, did somebody make a folder that's like all of our art assets?
Well, I mean,
You know what I mean?
the art assets really don't matter. To be honest, like
Yeah,
you can
because they're
always,
useless now.
yeah,
Last gen.
you're gonna get new artists anyway.
Yeah.
So as
But I
long
mean,
as
if
they're
that's
taking
true,
inspiration
you're
from
gonna
the
get new
original,
everything. I mean,
well,
Kingdoms
but
of Amalur is just a D&D, a custom D&D setting. I mean,
Right.
Dragon.
Yeah,
That's
that's what
what
I'm
Dragon
saying.
Age
So,
is.
like,
That's
what-
what everything is. So there's, it's not unique.
What they're really buying, I guess, is the lore and the story. Like, is that
Right.
and the
I never
name.
played it? Was
In the name.
but like the name doesn't have any pull. Like no one like that game did terribly. So like
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, there's a very small group of people.
It was
who
a
are
cult
like,
hit.
Oh,
It's a cult hit.
yeah.
And
So-
the only reason that game came out is because they were trying to get funding to make an MMO of that universe, which is definitely not
Whoa.
going to happen nowadays.
No, for sure not. It just
Yeah.
seems like it would have been
It's a weird
better use
purchase.
of
I
resources
mean-
to make a new original like fantasy world.
Deep Silver's just trying to become really massive. Sorry, THQ Nordic, whatever, it's the same
Yeah.
company. But
They're doing a good job.
they're just growing. Like, they're part of their deal is that they've been really doing a ton of remasters.
Sure.
They have that third Darksiders coming out now.
Yeah.
So yeah, they own Black Forest Games, Experiment 101, Foxglove Studios, Grimlore Games, Handy Games, Illusions Entertainment, Koch Media, which has Deep Silver. They bought the parent company because Deep Silver wouldn't sell. Mirage Game Studios, Pieces Interactive, and Rainbow Studios. So Koch Media had Deep Silver, Ravenscourt Games, and Koch Films. So Deep Silver can start making movies now if they want to.
That's fun.
Holy shit.
Yeah. You guys are-
And they bought the majority of THQ's holdings.
Right.
So
Interesting.
they have a lot of licensing and power.
Yeah, I think one of my big things is like with the Kingdoms of Amalur. I mean, I've noticed the upswing in the past like 5 years of people who are like, it's cool to play D&D.
Mhm.
People who have never played before, which is good because that's all revenue.
Yeah.
And titles like this, I think, kind of like lend to that.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I wonder how this game would do if it were to get like remastered or rebooted or whatever. It'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, I don't know. That is I mean, they probably are just trying to lock down anything that's similar of some stuff they want to do, or if they had former employees that worked on it, that they're like, hey, remember this shit? You guys could like pitch us some stuff on this now that we own the license if you want to.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess like lore is like takes a long time to write and stuff, and so like if you just buy the property, like you already have like, well, this world's already set up, so there's less
kind of
production you have to do.
And especially like you said, if it has someone in the you have someone already in the workplace that might have worked on it or whatever.
That's what I figured, because they also, I mean, not only did they, I mean, they're out here acquiring studios. You know what I mean? Like they're doing both studios and properties. So they probably employ a lot of people that worked on it. That's probably the main reason why, because people are like, hey, I know the guy that has custodial control of the license. You could probably get it for like $5,000. So
I'll give him
sure, why not? That's what I was saying. I remember when that whole shit was going down, I was like, yo, dude, you know what we should do is we should just get together like $200 and offer to like buy the license.
I remember that. We should have. We can still do it.
Worked.
We can still do it with Gex.
Yeah. Gex is ready to go, dude. PlayStation is begging for another Gex game. Or Crystal Dynamics or what the fuck ever.
Austin, I do remember you talking about that, like that you were saying that you should just buy Kings of Amalur because you probably could. You should have done it, man. THQ would have paid you big.
Damn, I could have made like 45% back on it. That's funny.
Yeah.
Fucking Captain Hindsight over here.
Holy shit.
Cool.
So yeah. What else have you been playing other than Spider-Man?
Yeah, just basically, like I haven't had a ton of game time since I was doing a bit of traveling, but I finished up and I'm just continuing to stay caught up and current with the Fortnite season. I don't know if I will next season, but it's been pretty fun. Like I think I had said previously, it's I like the game. Like some of the game's mechanics, there's some things that kind of piss me off, of course, but Yeah, it's fun. It'd be fun with a full group of dedicated players, but
Right.
I don't have that many friends.
It's kind of tough. Like, I know people that have like whole crews that get together and play like almost every day, and I'm like, dude, don't you like play anything else?
Yeah.
You know.
So I mean, this is kind of what I've been playing in my off time. Like Spider-Man's been definitely at the forefront. So, yeah, I think we'll just talk about Spider-Man for a bit.
We definitely got opinions on that shit.
Yeah, trying to keep we'll keep the spoilers to a minimum, like basically up to a certain part. If you've played like the game at all, you'll be fine.
Yeah,
but if you
like
haven't, then I don't know.
If you haven't played the game at all and you absolutely don't want to hear anything, it's already too late and you're an idiot. So I don't feel bad about that. I mean, like it's been out for what it came out on the 8th, on the 7th.
Yeah,
it's been over a week. Like anybody who absolutely has to know right away already knows. It already outsold God of War.
Yeah.
So I feel like everybody who has to know right now has already gotten into it. Hopefully.
Yes. Talking about any game stuff or anything like that, because I mean, you haven't even beaten it. We're just kind of talking about the game in general. So I mean, because I was like total media blackout, but that was a day one purchase for me. You know what I mean? So I feel like anyone would be that sensitive about spoilers would have already at least started it. So
right. So yeah, I mean, so you guys both beat it, right?
Yes.
And I'm about I don't know, I'm like maybe a quarter or a third of the way through, something like that.
Third. I would say that's a third of the way through.
Yeah. So I guess they revealed it revealed Mr. Negative to me, which everybody knew ahead of time because they had talked about that before, I think.
Sure.
Anybody who followed some of the
marketing and stuff.
The marketing, the pre-release stuff. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think the game is really good. I've had a lot of fun. Like, traversal is amazing.
Yes.
I'm not like super efficient with my traversal yet. Like, I have a little bit of difficulty in some of the chase missions. Like, it takes me a minute to catch them. I don't fail, but it just takes me a while longer than it should.
It feels so good to get better at swinging. Like,
you can feel yourself getting better. Yeah. Like once you start doing a lot of like point boosts and really start getting your speed up, you can feel yourself getting better at it.
And yeah, you do get little things later on that help you. Like if you land on the ground, you can like spring up quick and go. It just like those are the things that I feel like really lend to you getting better. It's almost it's like an illusion.
Yeah.
But you do get more efficient as well. So you just get familiar with the controls, of course.
Yeah, so it is really good to like just kind of cruise around and like I'll wait for a main mission to pop up, and then on the way there I'll do like 3 crimes, I'll hit a base, I'll do a research mission, I'll catch a dove. It just feels so good to like roll around the city.
And they knew that too, for sure, because they were like, well, at certain points of the story, after you do a mission, it's like, well, I don't have anything to do. I guess I'll just go mess around.
Mm-hmm. And they kind of, they do that on purpose, but it does, like, it pops up the next mission for you pretty quick. It's not really super annoying or anything.
But it's still enough time for you to go, like, like, here's, like, 2 crimes that I, knocked out. I know I need, like, one more thug mission in this area or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. And it makes the game...
I
think what a few of us were talking about is, this is like such an easy coasting game. Like you can just play the game.
It's paced extremely well.
You can do everything that you want to do. Like if you want to go for every trophy or, whatever, you can do all of that. I think there's like maybe one small thing that you really have to go out of your way to do. And I mean, it's just like taking photos.
So I tried to RP as much as I could when I was playing. I never went out of my way for anything because the story is pretty urgent. So there are times where they just kind of like it calms down for a little bit, but for the most part, it's like, Peter, I need you to come on emergency. And so it'd feel weird if I spent like an hour just picking up backpacks around town. So I only picked up stuff that was directly in my path to get to the next objective, and I still got everything before the halfway point.
Holy
So
shit.
Oh, nice.
yeah, I mean, so like it's the stuff is very like
Conductive.
it's very yeah, like everything is placed in a way that's like you're naturally going to wander upon this stuff anyway. You don't really have to go your way for this stuff.
Hmm.
And then so there's
Yeah.
and I love it too. I actually like really enjoy the collectibles in this game and the side quests and stuff. I don't think it's too much because it does two things. Like they have lore and they also are conducive to the traversal mechanics. So I love looking for backpacks because when I find them, there's a little lore bit. You press triangle and he tells you a story about whatever you found in there.
Yeah.
And then like sometimes you gotta like you get to the point and you hear like the beeping and you kind of gotta look around a little bit. And it's always like on a wall that you gotta zip to or like
Up
on top of
underneath some arches.
yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
they're always kind of like cool to get to. I love taking pictures because that's contextual. It makes sense. Peter Parker's a photographer,
Mhm.
and like it helps you learn about. For someone like me who's not like I've been in New York once when I was 8. I'm not familiar with that city whatsoever. I wouldn't know what most of those buildings are. So like when he takes that's the big theater. I saw a comedy show there once. It's like, oh, cool. Now I know that. That's a thing I learned
Mhm.
because like I'm exploring the city, and then it helps with all the other Marvel Easter eggs too. It's like I wouldn't know what the Wakandan embassy looked like off the top of my head. Like,
Right.
but you made a note of it. I'm like, oh, cool. Write that down as the thing that's already happened in this universe because
Mhm.
he's in Spider-Man for 8 years. Like other stuff has happened, but I'm not sure what. And then the other thing is, I love chasing after those pigeons because it's like you got to get good at web slinging to chase
Right.
to get to catch those pigeons. It's fun. It's like a good challenge. It challenges your web slinging, and I really really like that.
Yeah, they're
So,
super fast.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
a fantastic photo of me like cradling one of them after I caught it.
That's cool.
Really?
Yeah, it's a great photo.
Dope.
I was like that time Spider-Man, that pigeon from Mike Tyson's Mysteries.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I mean, I've been having a blast with it, and I'm not super big on like if a game is open world, that's not necessarily a plus to me. Like I know a lot of people are like, oh, I just want these massive games that I can play for 600 hours. I like the more like brief but I don't know how I want to describe it, like focused games. Like I had a huge blast with Donut County. The whole game's like 2 hours. And it's like the levels do not randomize. There is exactly this number of levels and that's it.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it because it's like I played this game, I got it, I can play it again if I want to, and I know what I'm doing. You know? But this one is a really well-made, large open world.
Yeah, it doesn't feel checklisty. Like
Right.
my problem with a lot of open worlds, is it just I think Assassin's Creed Syndicate was like the peak of my frustration because there were so many arbitrary fucking collectibles. You collected beer bottles, pressed flowers, fucking all sorts of shit. That's like, why? Why am I going around collecting beer bottles? I don't understand the context of this. It's never brought up in the story. It's never contextualized. It's like these characters and stuff is just a weird arbitrary thing, and there's so fucking many of them. This one, there's only a couple of each thing. There's not a whole there's only 55 backpacks. It's not that much. You get them pretty quick. There's a reason you're getting them. There's a reason you're picking them up. Like
and it's not like a giant like fucking chore to go get them either.
Yeah, exactly. And there's not you're not doing it endlessly and endlessly.
Yeah, you can just kind of ping and you can see exactly where it's at.
Okay, there's one right over there. I'm not going to get that. I don't need that right now. Like it's so easy to make those kind of decisions.
You never have to look up a guide ever. So
yeah, it's very good, and that's rare nowadays.
Yeah,
I would say.
Yeah. Open world done right.
Very well done open world, I think.
So, I mean, we've kind of said a lot of things that we really liked about the game. What do you guys like? I have a pretty big gripe for me, but I was interested to hear if you guys had anything. That just bothered you.
I have two. I have I have a couple small gripes. I think so. There's Austin where there's the base clearing missions, like the Fisk missions and the demon missions. there's a couple more that unlock later in the game. There's just like a few too many of those.
Yeah, I agree with that.
There's they could have done with like maybe 2 less of each or something like that. Then
I don't know. I kind of I liked those missions just because
yeah.
they were the thing that made me actually restart once or twice. You know,
Oh, okay.
it actually gave me a pretty a little bit of a challenge.
Those
Okay,
are the
yeah,
hardest
that's true.
combat encounters in the game.
Yeah, right, and that's why I think I like them.
So yeah, I mean they are good challenge rooms. They like if you compare it to the Arkham franchise, they're basically the the challenge rooms in those games were like in a separate menu. These are just like integrated into the world map, which I like more.
Right.
So but I mean that's not a huge gripe. And every time it was just near the end, I was like, all right, let me see about these. But my biggest complaint, I don't have many complaints about this game. This game is like a 9.5 for me. This is like I fucking loved it. The boss fight, the strategy for every boss fight is use the regular web R1, web them up, triangle, punch, like dodge until your web charge refills. Like you can do that for every boss fight. So there's like in how you take down bosses. I think that's something the Arkham franchise did really well. Each boss fight was really unique and interesting. And they do interesting stuff with some of the boss fights later on. But like when you boil it down, every boss fight is solved the same way. And I could use more variety there. That's pretty much my only complaint. The last thing, and this isn't really like, I don't know if this is a complaint. This is more just like my own personal frustration. When you unlock the challenge tokens, the challenges, it is super hard to get gold, and you have to get gold in all of them to unlock everything. And I have no idea how you get gold.
Well, I think
I can't get gold on any of them.
I think it's 75%. I didn't get gold on all of them. I actually left all of the drone missions. Because like I got silver on the drone missions, but I was like, I sat down one time to play and started doing the drone mission, and I got so frustrated by trying to get gold. I was like, no, those are the ones that I'll leave. I'll do all of the combat. I'll do all of the stealth.
Yeah.
Screw those drone missions.
Yeah. That's not even a complaint. My complaint can't be this thing is too hard. You know what I mean? It's just
right.
Like, for me that will be a point of frustration, but that's not really a mark against the game. But that's about it, man. What about you? What gripe you got?
Personally, my biggest thing that I had a problem with was the gadget wheel. It feels so clunky to get into that every time you want to switch. Like I'm like, okay, so I want to web up this big guy, but first I want to shoot this. I want to shoot a gadget at the floor to cause a web explosion, and then I want to swing in and hit. And every time you have to hold the button and like select around the wheel. And I had this problem with like wanting to use the right stick to select, and it's the left stick.
Yep.
So I would constantly be like, okay, well, I'm gonna web this guy, and then I would like blast them all backwards, and like, well, okay, I was pressing the wrong stick. Obviously, it just felt a little. The wheel felt dated. That I couldn't like. I don't know. It feels like it would have went better to have like maybe the directional pad. Or something.
Sure. Well, that's what I was
really
thinking. Like you should be able to shortcut 2 of them to left and right on the D-pad, because left and right on the D-pad is not used at all.
Oh,
so
that's
like,
really weird.
Right.
If you could have assigned 2 of them to be shortcut and then the weapon wheel for the rest of them, like I think that would have been probably the best case scenario.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree. And that was my biggest complaint. I was like, it's not game breaking, but it's game frustrating. It frustrates me. It frustrated me so much at the end while trying to do some of the challenges. That was my biggest complaint.
Question: Does it add to your time? Because the world slows down when you're in the weapon wheel, but for the challenge, does that count as part of the ticking clock to get gold, or does the clock slow down?
I think it slows down, but
all right.
But it's still frustrating because when you start a challenge, especially a combat challenge, you like after you play so long, you're like, I know what I want to do, and I want to gadget, the floor here, here, and here, and you want to switch to that. So first, right as soon as you start, it's like 3, 2, 1. You have to hold the button, switch to what you want, aim, shoot, you know, wherever you want. Like if you want to shoot 2 or 3 like things on the floor or whatever, and then you have to switch back to the regular web, and then you get to go in. And by that time, someone's already has their like crosshairs on you, and they're already shooting you.
Yeah.
So it's like it feels dated, and I will say, I mean, there are a few things in this game that do feel like mission wise just feels a little dated. But the game's so crisp, I just ignore. Like I can like fully ignore it. It's so fun to like. I can forgive almost everything for them just allowing me to swing around New York.
Yeah. Like I was gonna mention that same thing, that like a lot of the gadgets, I just don't find myself using them because like Spider-Man already works so well as he is, I guess.
Right.
Like you don't need the gadgets almost ever, except for like electrocuting junction boxes, little like sort of contextual shit like that.
I guess almost never used any gadgets either.
I mean, I'm really just like webbing dudes up and triangling to them.
Like, it really does make things a lot faster. I think like for the challenge tokens, like I'm gonna need to get good at those because some of them really do speed up combat.
They do.
Okay.
Yeah, you can like
web bomb alone.
Yeah, you can web bomb, and then I don't know. There's like a series of events depending on the challenge that I found myself using. There's one gadget that allows everyone to like be held in like a stasis up in the air.
Oh damn!
And I'll use that, and then I'll use the thick web, and they're all up in the air. I'll just stick them to walls, the heavy shot web, and that'll take down like 4 people.
Yeah. The impact web, you mean?
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah. That's pretty dope.
But you have you have to get good at that. There's one thing that I never like changed. It's so weird to me. I don't know why. I watched it and I looked at every single one of them. But when you get a new suit, you usually get a new suit power.
Yep.
Never swapped. Whole game.
Did you just use the accelerated adrenaline booster or whatever?
Yep, whole game.
Okay, I've been using the Web Blossom constantly.
Yeah. And that's what Pasty Pasta Man said too. He's like, I
like the Web Blossom a lot.
That's the one he's like, that's the one I switched to, and I haven't switched from that one since changing from Focus.
Yeah. I think the one that builds up Focus is incredibly useful. Like it gives me like clutch, like healing, and
infinite healing, automatic knockouts,
But I'll tell you why I never switched is because I didn't know about that feature. Because the alternate suits aren't canon, so I never wanted to use them. I never.
You were always just the advanced spider or whatever.
Yes, because it made no sense to me. I didn't want to be in a cutscene with this weird alternative noir suit or some shit. It was like, I will unlock those suits at the end of the game when it doesn't matter anymore. But
when God agreed
story,
that I
am not changing out of the canon suit. Like it would fuck up the context for me. So I never did that. So I never bought another suit. And so I could have bought a suit and switched the power out and then like still worn the advanced suit. So I thought like, I read that each one came with a power. I was like, oh, that's cool. But like, I didn't know you could swap the powers out to whatever suit you wanted. So I just never bought any suits. And then after I finished everything in the game, I started going back and buying the suits.
You were like, holy shit, I love these.
Yeah, these would have been helpful, but it's okay.
There are definitely there's definitely some cool ones that I'm still going to go back and probably play with a little bit when I sit down next. But
yeah, I've just been kind of popping between suits.
I didn't. I played with the main suit, like you said, until they gave me like you got the main suit and then you got you start with the tattered suit.
Yeah. Well, you start with the regular suit and then it gets tattered.
Yeah, and then
you're wearing it.
I switched back to the regular suit, not even the new the new updated one. I played with that one for a while until I got the punk one, and then I was like, well, it's 8 years. He's had his time. He's a little angsty now and angry. So I played with the punk suit like the whole game.
That's cool.
Props to Insomniac for making what I think is like one of the coolest Spider-Man suits ever. Like, I love the advanced suit. I actually think the regular Spider-Man suit is ugly in comparison. Like,
the white spider and the knuckles and everything is so cool.
It's so cool, man. I tried to switch
really
back to
came
like
together.
the original suit for a little bit, and I was like, "Oh, this suit's
Yeah.
lame. Like, I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
like this anymore."
I
Yeah,
agree.
the white spider's so cool. I love it. Yeah.
There's
Love
also
that
the, and I don't think it. I wouldn't call it a spoiler. Everyone's probably seen a picture of the like almost like cartoony cell shaded suit.
Oh yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah, that one's really
Um,
cool. I put that
it is
on
super
for
cool.
one cutscene, and then I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah.
It's still probably my favorite suit just because it makes me laugh.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it looks so good.
it looks awesome. But
Yeah.
it would be cool if you switched to that and like it would be a ton of like extra whatever. But if the game kind of changed it,
Oh, it put like a Cell Toon skin on everything.
yeah,
That'd be cool.
that would have been kind of cool. But
Yeah, I understand why they didn't.
yeah, I totally get that.
It'd be hard as
I
fuck.
don't know if actually that would have been cool. I don't know if it's I'm sure it's a good amount of work, but I mean other games done it like Uncharted, you can flip on all sorts of filters. So
It's
Right,
true.
I'm sure
right.
there's a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a way that's not like redoing every asset. I think there's
Mhm.
probably like they could probably rig a filter to kind of like be a fix all. It probably wouldn't be perfect, but it's a novelty, so it doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Maybe the sequel.
It's just like he kind of like he stuck out so much if you wore that suit. Like I saw one of
Yeah.
like I think Spider-Man got knocked down and he was laying on the ground. And he was just laying on the ground and it was just this weird animated person with all these enemies that look normal around him. And I was like, this is great. This is the world we live in
Yeah.
now. But
What-
yeah,
it
I got through the whole game.
would be
And at the very end, I was like, okay, so the platinum is gonna pop, and I waited a second, and it didn't. I was like,
What?
what is happening? It turns out the last thing, for some reason, I bought every suit as I was playing the game, and they gave me two suits kind of close to the same time, and I skipped the first one. So there was one suit just right in the middle. It's like, it's about at the halfway point. I think it's just after you buy you get the punk suit or whatever.
okay.
And it was just, I don't know. I felt kind of stupid after looking at it. I was like, oh, well, that kind of deflated that. I expected the credits to roll and then it'd be like, ping. Nope.
That's weird. Yeah.
Were you not like tipped off that you never got a ttrophy for getting all the suits?
No, I thought I did. I fully thought that I had already got that trophy. I didn't look at the trophies. I didn't look at the trophies at all. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of found everything as I went along. I think the biggest thing that I'll say is use the camera and look for the hidden things you can take pictures of in the environment that aren't labeled like as a location, and you'll find a lot of cool extra stuff, even like trophies tied to it.
Oh, sweet. Okay. Well, I have every trophy in the game except for the suits and the challenges because I haven't finished those yet.
Okay.
But I have the rest of the trophies. The one of the ones that I didn't get because after I beat it, I looked through the trophy list and was like, I'll clean up the ones I can do really quick. I didn't get the one for fast traveling 5 times. I only ever fast traveled the one.
When the game requires you to. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and the game was just too fun. And also another thing I like about the game is open world's not too big. You can reasonably get through it pretty fast. Like, there's also this other trend in open worlds that like each world's got to be the biggest open game world ever created.
This is 10 times bigger than our last game.
And sometimes that's cool. Like sometimes like I like how big Origins is, but not every game needs to be the biggest fucking game ever. Like,
Right.
I like that this world is as big as it needs to be and no bigger.
Right. Yeah.
So-
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of my friends, I noticed they were like, "Oh man, I got the platinum," and I was like, "I'm like halfway through it," and I was like, "This is crazy."
Yeah.
But I was away during the weekend release, so I didn't even get to play this game until like
Last
seriously Monday.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So I played a little bit Sunday, and you know, and I was just like, wow, just that, like, I expected the game to, I guess, just be a little more, trophy-wise, to be a little more difficult.
Mhm.
So I was saying earlier, you know, if there is a game that you want to platinum and that's not a Telltale game and it's just fun, you can kind of just go through it. Like this seems like that game.
Mhm.
I'm glad there's no stupid trophies. I don't have a problem with like something being hard to platinum. Like, you know, I it shouldn't be super easy, but there are some games where I'm just like, you made this hard just to make it hard.
Just
Yeah.
lay dick.
Some of the
Yeah.
trophies are just so fucking dumb, and it's like beat the game in under like 4 hours. It's like, why?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Why are you asking me to do this? Like that's a dumb thing. Or like Kingdom Hearts is some of the dumbest trophies.
Yup.
I was looking through.
It's like kill 19 Heartless in 1 second.
Yeah, or like,
It's like,
the
oh, cool.
thing- yeah, it's like
Yeah.
just dumb. Like get to level 99. It's like, why? There's no in-game reason to get to level 99.
Yeah.
As
Canonically, Sora is not level 99.
well,
Yeah.
you know, as well, I also had like I spent hours playing with the photo mode. Like I spent
Oh yeah.
like, man, if I spent like 4 hours playing the game, I at least spent an hour of that just messing around with photos.
Oh yeah.
Like I'll pause the
pretty
game
cool.
like cutscene and I'll try to get a cool photo. It got out of hand.
Holy
Really
shit.
Well,
quick.
I did not know you could do photo mode and cutscenes. That's really cool.
Yeah, at all
You-
times it's available in the options menu.
Yeah, you can't
What?
spin the camera, but you can put
Okay.
filters on and stickers. And yeah, I got really obsessed with trying to get a like a really cool newsprint looking like shot where it almost had like the comic book like I had one where Spider-Man was being kicked in the face,
Mm-hmm.
and you put
Yeah.
like the crack, or no, it was the ribs, and I was like, I put like a ton of cracks, like the actual word crack. I just made them smaller and put them around his ribs, so it looked like a
Oh,
comic
that's so
book cell.
cool.
It's so fun.
That's so cool.
I like the one that you made of the guy farting. That one really fucked me up.
Yeah, I don't remember how I got that. I turned the camera and I was like, why is his ass in Spider-Man's face? So I obviously took and made a sticker that was like, it looked like a puff of air coming out of his ass.
It's funny.
I had to do that.
Yeah. How do you guys feel about Joe Jameson in this game?
You mean
Love
Alex
him.
Jones?
Alex Jones, yeah.
It's very
Yeah,
good.
I love it. I love
Alex
making
Jones
him an Alex
Jameson.
Jones types.
Spider-Man's out here making the friggin' pigeons gay.
He does claim that Spider-Man eats pigeons in the game.
Damn.
Oh man, just the ridiculous shit that he says. I was like, he was just fully comic relief. I don't even know how you make Jameson the comic relief in a Spider-Man game, but thank you.
Yeah, they did a good job. Every time he came on the radio, it was one of those things where I was like, oh, fuck, this guy again? And also like, ooh, what's he going to say this time?
He always has someone on the radio, and he's like, now we'll go to caller. Caller, what was your experience? Like, well, you know,
I think
someone was
Spider-Man-
rampaging, and Spider-Man swooped in and saved me. So Spider-Man was there. He was rampaging. Okay, next caller.
Yeah.
Like,
The one person's like, you know, I think he's actually pretty cool. And he's like, yeah, well, I have a fucking Eisner nomination that says that he's pretty terrible. And the person's like, I think you made that up. It's like, fuck you, caller.
and he's always yelling at his assistant to end the call or take notes and play it on loop.
When they say shit like that, you got to cut them off. Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
good. That's exactly what it's like to be a podcaster.
He said, one of them, he says, intern, if I was fire yourself, then rehire yourself because I'm not paying you anyway. But if I were paying you, I would cut your salary in half. It's like, what?
Real shit.
It's so real.
Fire yourself, rehire yourself, then cut your non-existent salary in half.
And we all been there, right?
Damn.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's funny.
I like it a lot. Do you think I don't want to speculate.
There's definitely going to be a 2. They've already said they want to make
Yeah.
2.
Yeah. I don't want to speculate on on stuff because you haven't finished it, so I don't want you to
Okay.
like know what is or isn't in the game.
Yeah, I mean, there are things I clearly want to, like, I want to get other people's opinion about, and I still haven't yet. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Aunt May is the
but-
villain in the end, right?
Well, she's always the villain.
Well, if she was played by Marissa Tomei, she'd be the love interest.
She could still be the love interest.
Ooh.
Go. Something more about Spider-Man. I was gonna ask you something else. James we talked about. I don't remember. There was something else I was gonna ask you guys. I just thought it was gone.
It's been really buggy for me.
Okay,
Like,
yes, that's the thing.
Yeah, nobody wanted to ask about it, but like I've had a ton of like gameplay experience altering bugs. Like so I think everybody's had the thing where like an enemy spawns somewhere that you can't really get to them.
Yeah.
Or that one's relatively common from what I've seen online, at least.
Well, for me, he
I
didn't
had
spawn
no
there.
issues.
I swing kicked him through a door that I think may have been open at some point.
Oh, like some enemies were coming out of a door, maybe, and you kicked a guy into it.
Yeah, and now he's in there forever. Yeah,
I had a
he's
guy
still there.
spawn in a construction site inside of a mobile home, sort of. So like I couldn't hit him, I couldn't access him. He wouldn't respond to like area of effect attacks, and it was the final enemy on a base clearing mission. So I just had to restart and do it again.
Oh no!
Like there's nothing else to do. I've had to do that twice on 2 different base missions. And then I had the like fall through the earth bug.
I've had 2 crashes. That's it. That's the only issues I've had.
And I had 1 crash. Yeah.
I didn't have a single crash.
What was the other thing I said? There's another one I thought I pointed out. Can't remember. But yeah, I've had.
You said, like,
it was
and then
during
you
a
just
chase
shot off
mission.
Oh,
During a chase mission, it'll say like if they're starting to get away from me and the game thinks I'm not going in the right direction to catch them, even if I'm going directly in a straight line toward the thing I'm chasing, it says, "Hey, I think you're going the wrong way. Do you want to continue the mission or do you want to abandon it?" And I'll say continue, and it'll turn and make me go away from the thing I'm targeting. So this has happened to me twice during chase missions. Once chasing a car and once chasing a helicopter. And one of those is a story mission.
I do question. I mean, we never get from usually like bigger Sony properties, especially. I mean, you wouldn't expect it for a single player game,
Mhm.
but like I wonder how much like outside testing gets done.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
So I mean, these are little things I feel like that can be caught, like probably not in a focus testing group, but as someone sitting down to just play the game.
Yeah,
so I feel like the guys that would catch this would be the guys that get like early access copies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which I mean, they did have a really big like press release on this one. Like, all the reviews were coming out for the game the Tuesday before it released.
Right.
So it's not like they were waiting until release day or something. You know what I mean? But yeah, there's definitely like, and I've heard that not a lot of people are having bad like bug issues. So I guess maybe it's because I'm using the cursed Star Wars Battlefront 2 PS4 Pro.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's why.
But,
like,
yeah,
he
I've
has
had
what
a ton
system?
of bugs.
He has what system? He didn't buy the new Spider-Man one?
Tell me the serial number again. What the fuck?
Let's make sure that.
Yeah, I don't know.
He gets got.
All right, we've been about an hour and 12 on just what we've been playing. So luckily, we'll kind of scoot along. There's not really any notable games coming out that we know of. So this is definitely a time when we're saying, hey, if you guys know of a game that's coming out that we don't specifically, like the Nintendo Direct that we're going to talk about had some games that were coming out immediately. So those don't count in this instance. We'll mention those later. But other than that, it's a lot of like games with DLC collections, physical copies of things coming out where there's already been it's already been available digitally. Like the end of the week, I'm getting on the 21st, the Banner Saga trilogy on Switch physical. They're all already out digitally. So I don't think that we need to cover all those specifically since we already can play them if we want to,
Yeah, we've ran through these We've ran through. It's either we've
All of them
already
in the
touched
past.
all of them on all of them, or they've already been like
Mhm.
games that are out, and it's like, why is that getting another? But
Yeah, and it's and then also originally what Spyro was going to come out this week, and it ended up getting pushed back.
yeah, I think that's probably gonna be the bigger game of the week, but
It would have been, yeah.
Uh,
So yeah, if there's anything specific that was coming out, I'm sure Graham will have something for us where he's like, I can't believe you guys didn't talk about Sechi no Tawaka 5, Return of the Weeb or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Like he'll have some stupid shit I don't want to hear about, it's guaranteed. So
God damn
until then, let us know on Twitter at Mammoth Games Inc., on Facebook.com/Mammoth Games Inc. We're very reachable.
yeah.
We usually respond pretty quick, and if you mention a stupid game, then I'll make fun of you. So, no, there's literally zero downsides I can think of.
Yeah, all that sounds good.
We do have a freebie, though.
We do have a freebie.
House-
Though. It's not even really a freebie. It's just giving you,
Letting us know about a demo.
letting you know about a demo. What were you gonna say, Drake?
House of Flubber, Return of the Weeb.
Dude, if there was a House of Flubber game, I said House Flipper, and Drake kept thinking I was saying House of Flubber, which is amazing. Like a horror game, House of Flubber would be absolutely nightmarish.
Return of the Weeb.
Return of the Weebs. Damn. Imagine if you were like a Flubber vor porn artist, and also a furry, and in the alt-right.
You play as a weeb returning to the House of Flubber.
Damn. Returning. That's what really fucks me up, is that you're returning to the House of Flubber.
I don't ever remember being here before, though.
Well, that's part of the mystery. You know?
Scooby
The
Doo shit
return
over
part
here.
really gets me. I would watch another live-action Scooby-Doo movie in a heartbeat, also.
Only if it had Matthew Lillard in it. I don't give a shit otherwise.
Yeah, anybody else, I kind of don't give a fuck. Scooby goes to rehab. All right, so that demo. Did we say what the demo was?
Let's go. Let's check out that demo. There is a Mega Man 11 demo available now for the Switch. You can get in there and check that out.
Cool. If somehow you don't know what a Mega Man game would be like after a fucking 11 of them are out.
Exactly.
At least 11.
I just know people. I don't know. Mega Man's never been a thing for me. I've never been like a big Mega Man fan.
I'm more of a Cool Spot fan myself.
Yeah, I don't like 2D side scrollers.
Yeah,
So I don't know. I know I have a few people that are like, when they saw the demo, they're like, holy shit. I was just like, huh, alrighty. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. We'll go ahead and jump into the weekly news, of course. Actually, the first one was something that you
Oh my god, this
put
is
up here,
some
and
shit.
it's really cool. So
Yes. So, straight out of Variety, because we can't just have Game Informer back-to-back for every article here, can we? So, Alan Wake is being developed as a TV show.
yes,
Cool.
That's dope.
that's really cool.
Specifically, Peter Calloway looks like he's going to be the showrunner, who worked on Marvel's Cloak and Dagger, which I have not heard of. I have not heard about.
Is that even out yet?
Haven't those been split into two separate things?
No.
Oh no, yeah.
No.
That's a streaming exclusive. That was something else.
Yeah,
That's a streaming exclusive. So Cloak and Dagger, I think, is out on Hulu. I think it just came out.
they're
then,
actually really cool heroes.
Yeah, and he actually worked on Legion as well, Marvel's Legion.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. That's a good person to take it, because this is somebody that's kind of into the kind of weirder, like, power type shit going on. It's not just, I don't think Alan Wake would be good if you just took it as a, like, straight psychological horror. It definitely has to have the weirdness in it, and it's kind of got a Twin Peaks vibe for sure. And I think that this guy would probably be able to do that pretty well.
Yeah, I do hope, like, knowing that he worked on Legion, and that it's going to have that kind of similar, almost like what the fuck feel at times.
Right.
I'm hoping he tones it down. Legion was really fucking crazy.
It definitely needs to be toned down. I mean, Alan Wake is wild, but it's like, if any of the things that happen in Alan Wake happened, just one of them happened by itself, it would be relatively believable. The thing that makes it unbelievable is that it's happening nonstop over and over again to the same guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's kind of like any good. I mean, the story itself is really similar to a Stephen King story. What is it? The Secret Window.
Not sure I know.
Where it's like a writer that's kind of haunted by their own.
Oh yeah.
Stories and
their
shit
own,
like that.
Yeah.
And then,
so-
it turns out that Alan Wake is sort of like torturing himself in this weird way. It's really good. So, what were you gonna say, Drake?
Do you think or know if it is going to be a
Direct retelling?
retelling of the game, or is it going to be a story within the same universe?
I don't know. Let me dig in. There's a lot. This is a huge article. Like these guys, Contradiction Films and Remedy Games. Well, Sam Lake, I don't know if he's the director or the narrative lead or whatever at Remedy. He's an executive producer on the
On the show.
on the show. He will be on the show. As well.
That's awesome that they're including the original.
Okay, what they said right
developers.
here, definitely what we have mapped out is longer than the first game and the sequel.
Well, the sequel is sort of.
There's more to it.
So that's really cool.
Yeah. So
I would love an Alan Wake 2, but this will tide me over until then.
Yeah, they say they see the universe as a bigger thing, so they're going to they already have it all wrote out. Like when Alan Wake came out, I bought the book because I actually didn't play the game. I ended up reading the book, which was weird.
The game's good, but it's kind of hard to get now because it got like delisted off Steam, right?
Yeah, and originally, like way back then, I didn't have an Xbox.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was exclusive.
Yeah, it was an exclusive thing. So I just ended up. I think I watched the trailer. I did a video blog about it back when I was writing with some friends on a different site, and then never got to play. It was like a preview of it, and then I just read the whole book. So all that's already there. They can.
They have a lot to pull from. Yeah.
I mean, they already have like. It's a little different when you're looking at a game and it's like, okay, so here's the cutscene. This person talks and then this happens. But writing out each step, it can kind of come off weird if you're not, viewing it. If you're trying to like picture it. So I mean, they already have that done, which is kind of nice. So it's a good launching
for
product.
sure.
But what I was saying before about Legion, that show is so fucking crazy that while I'll watch the show and I'll get to the end of the episode and I'll go, I have no idea what happened. It was really cool. It was fun. It was everything that it was just like it was a fun 45-minute ride. But then I'll have to go online and be like, I have no idea what that meant. And I'll just look, and other people are like, I have no idea what that meant either. And then someone's like, well, actually, pushes glasses up. And, you have to kind of piece together what you think is happening. Since the whole show is basically what someone's either A, dreaming, or B, fabricating, in, what do they call that? Like a shadow realm.
Okay.
It's where Shadow King
lives. The Shadow
lives.
Realm?
It's like the...
your ass to the Shadow Realm, Blue Eyes White Dragon over here.
What do they call it? I don't remember. But yeah, it's where Shadow King lives.
Okay.
But yeah, I hope they tone it down from there. I haven't seen anything Cloak and Dagger, even though they are really cool. But yeah, I think this is going to be really cool. I'm excited for that.
And I really like that we're actually getting several games that look like they could cross over into TV and movies successfully. Yeah. Assassin's Creed was a good step a couple years ago. The Tomb Raider movie was pretty good. And I think TV is probably the way to go because you can just get a lot more sunk into stuff.
I'd like to see some people take some shots at shows and put them on smaller streaming services. I really liked Glow and its style, and it would be cool to get some sort of video game adaptation done in that way. You know what I mean?
Fire Glow Wrestling.
There you go.
Hmm?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, I mean, that's looking really promising. We just kind of have to wait to hear more on that. I mean, they don't even have like, Witcher right now. We're looking at like maybe 2021 when Witcher starts coming out on Netflix.
Damn, I didn't think it was going to be that far out. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
they said
like
2020
late
is starting to look. They were saying 2020, and recently they said 2020 looks a little unrealistic.
Good.
So
God.
probably late 2021.
Yeah.
So this will probably be like Witcher TV show was announced last year at Comic-Con. So like this will probably be 22, 23 maybe. Movies take forever to put together, like entertainment industry. Just takes forever.
Now, how do you feel about Henry Cavill as
Oh yeah, we talked about that last episode. I think that's fine because Geralt's kind of the least important character of the whole series.
Really?
Because he like literally just stands around and like kills shit and then watches to see what everybody else does.
Yeah, I just can't picture it. He just looks nothing like Geralt.
Well, I need him to have that full mustache for sure.
Yeah, he has to have that full
that gross mustache that he wouldn't shave for the reshoots.
With a little bit of work, I think he'll fit the role.
Henry Cavill himself, like as a dude, I've heard he's really hard to work with, and he's kind of got like shitty opinions on things. So that could be problematic, I guess. Just because he's like kind of weird. Like he's just like tough to work with, from what I've heard.
It's really weird. Like I can't make heads or tails of the situation with him and Superman. Like everyone was like, he's not playing Superman, he's out.
Yeah, he's hard out.
Like he uploaded a video of him just standing there, and he's like, it was on Twitter. It said something that would lead you to believe that he's still going to be Superman, and he he held an action figure up, like slowly brought it in from the bottom of the screen.
And it was Geralt with a giant S on his chest.
Yeah, there's some contention around that. Some people saying that like that's not true, and like I don't know.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck has been maybe Batman, maybe not Batman for like 5 years. So I don't want to until it's confirmed that they are recasting him and we know exactly who's being recast with. I'm not gonna jump to any conclusions. Like we'll see. Maybe I would like if he would at least come back to be gotten rid of the right way. So if he doesn't want to be Superman anymore and they decide that they don't want to recast him, then come back and to give to either die or like leave or like something, like give a reason on screen why Superman is gone.
Right.
And then if you are going to recast him, I think the best way to do that is through Flashpoint. And I think you need the original guys in there first, come back, have the Flashpoint event, and then do the recast after the event happens. So, of the Flashpoint movie or whatever. But yeah, apparently there was some like disagreement he had with Warner Brothers about they wanted him to cameo in Shazam, which would make a lot of sense. And like he either didn't want to do that or didn't like what they were offering him to do that or something. I don't know exactly, but apparently that's where this big like argument came from, is over his Shazam cameo. So I don't know. That's
really weird.
Like an odd thing to like.
He was like, I hate Zachary Levi.
just personally, like Superman like Superman for me is just one of the like characters in all of comic books. Like I like him the least. I like Ken Jeong could play Superman and I wouldn't give a shit.
That would be
I'd be like, okay. That might be kind of fun. Hold on, let's
you just sold me on it.
That's why I liked this version of Superman so much, actually, because I think up to this point I thought Superman was super unrelatable, and I wasn't super into Superman. But with Man of Steel, instead of making his conflict like he's invincible, like the conflict can't be between him and any physical challenge. The conflict became a personal one, like where does he fit in? I think everyone can relate to. And so I like that Superman's struggle is the fact that Clark Kent is his costume. He can't be who he really is in public because he won't be accepted. And so it's him struggling with an identity crisis. And I think that is the most relatable and interesting way to approach Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to kind of like to question like what is like someone with that power. Like, what do we refer to that? Like, is he the Man of Steel did a good job. It was so weird because me and Shannon saw Man of Steel on opening weekend in Ireland, and there was no one else in the theater.
Whoa.
In like in a relatively large theater.
They're like, why the fuck would we care about Superman?
They're like, who? But it was really good that it's like, you know, people were questioning like,
that doesn't have whiskey in it.
Like, does this reassess like our opinion of what a god is? Like, does this harm religion that there is a Superman? Like,
yeah,
is he better? Like, is he above us? Should we put him in charge?
Yeah,
because he's like, he can't be assassinated.
One of these days, I'm gonna make my DC Universe like literary breakdown video. I've been saying I'm gonna do this for years. One of these days, I'll get around to it.
It's a lot of work.
But it's a lot of work. I really want to do.
Just
it,
when you get to the Alan Moore years, you just have to like do a shit ton of acid to understand what's going on.
No, I'm just talking about the four right now.
Right.
5 movies, like specifically the Zack Snyder ones. Not the whole DC universe, not all of DC history.
How Zack Snyder was good until he did a single DC movie.
No,
That's my next
like
video.
it a lot. I actually like Man of Steel. I like BVS a lot. Like I'll get into it. Look forward to that video in 5 years.
That's a lot.
All right, so let's
yeah.
Why don't we move on to some just shitty news? But it was definitely like we saw it coming. The makers of WildStar, Carbine Studios, is scheduled to shut down.
Yeah.
So their massive multiplayer game WildStar is shutting down. And you know, it's not a massive studio. I believe the studio was much larger before.
Mm-hmm.
And
they've had several layoffs that we talked about, and it's just finally they've just come to the conclusion that, you know, the MMO's not doing as well as it should, and it's time to close that studio. Mm-hmm.
You know, pretty much as we always say, when a studio goes down like that, those people usually get picked up fairly well because the gaming industry really relies on, you know, that if you've worked on something credible, then you're pretty like much guaranteed if you want something else that's realistic that you can that you'll obtain it. And there are tons of companies out there that are hiring up big time. Like even right now, I was just looking through the job listings, and Sony is hiring like mad. So
they got to gear up for Spider-Man 2.
Yeah,
which is going to be made by Ready at Dawn probably.
But yeah, and that's to say that those people, you know, they're losing their job there, but who's to say they're not going to get shipped off to another company that, you know, that's under another developer that's under the publisher NCSoft, who, you know, publishes the game. So I was looking for the exact date.
I don't know. I didn't really see that.
WildStar players who have spent money within the game will be refunded purchase from purchases that have happened
from July 1st.
From July, July 1st this year. And they're of course shutting that down. They were founded in 2005 by former Blizzard Entertainment employees. And then in 2007, NCSoft purchased them. NCSoft has, like, this, for me, this isn't, like I wasn't invested in this game at all. I don't think I ever played WildStar.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, they did the same thing with the City of Heroes and Villains studio, Cryptic.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I kind of wonder if these guys are going in a different direction. They don't really want, like, maybe they want to get out of the MMO game.
I mean, now's the time. It has been, like, historically, China has really propped up the MMO market, with a little bit of South Korea as well. But it's starting to even die down there as they get more into free to play. Kind of some more traditional, more like action games that we're used to in the West is starting to get more popular in Asia. So
Yeah, and I mean it's one of those things like I look at it and I'm like, I get why it's going that way, but it's always one of those things I'm kind of looking for is like a good MMO.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It just doesn't exist anymore though.
Play Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah,
No.
I played through it. I played through it well enough with a group of people, and just it just kind of died out. And it wasn't even that long. Like we put in a decent amount of hours in a short amount of time, and it was fun. We had our own our own house and in one of the districts, and it was a good experience. But there were things I liked and things I kind of just didn't like about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I think I played like almost all of the major MMOs that have come out. Like I even tried like Black Desert more recently and stuff like that. Yeah, just didn't work for me.
So really quick, guys, I apologize. Programming note. I'm gonna have to head out relatively soon, within the next 15 minutes for sure.
Okay.
Do we want to go ahead and because I don't really know how much I could contribute to the Nintendo stuff anyway, as I watched the direct, I enjoyed it. I'm not super knowledgeable about Nintendo stuff in general. So but what I am knowledgeable about is TGS and PlayStation. Do we want to go ahead and talk about the TGS news really quick? What was in that PlayStation keynote?
Yeah,
We'll
we
we can definitely do that.
Yeah, we'll just keep it running. I don't think it's a really big deal, and we'll just
Yeah.
farewell, and then we'll continue on
Yeah,
the podcast.
absolutely. You guys obviously keep just like last time I was on Austin, had to dip out early, and we just kept it
Yeah.
so
Right.
Stopped the recording on my end, but
It was a longer podcast.
I mean it was a PlayStation did a oh shit, hold on. I also keep having tech issues with my GarageBand. It keeps crashing. And so
That ain't good.
none of this is getting recorded on my end right now. It just crashed. I'm loading back in. And Gamescast.
Just send me what you end up having and timestamp everything.
So I don't know exactly timestamps, but I do know I do know where the conversation started, because I can't see your timestamp, and after the recording ends, it stops. So the last recording was right before, right when I said, "What do you think of Henry Cavill as Geralt?" was where my last one started.
Damn, that's bad.
Yeah, that's long.
And this one's starting right now. So yeah, the last recording only went for 10 minutes. I think my computer. So this is going to stop soon. So I'm going to have to get off pretty soon regardless. But I do want to talk about TGS real quick. PlayStation did a keynote there. I really like the theme. They made it feel like Star Tours. They made custom graphics for a PlayStation 4 DualShock 4 spaceship that flew off. And little square and triangle icons would pop up. Like the buttons would be like, well, welcome to the VR galaxy. We're about to explore some games. And then they like dive into the VR cluster.
Okay.
They talked about Project Awake or Project Awakening. Is that it? Is that a thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Super interesting. Apparently, this was already announced beforehand, but I hadn't seen it before. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch this trailer right now.
I think they had announced it. We just hadn't seen anything until recently.
It looks super good. It looks like it's potentially a cross between like Monster Hunter and Dark Souls, but it looks to me. I don't think it's gonna be like a multiplayer thing. I think it's just gonna be like a single player adventure. Like it looked like he's like most of the trailer is gameplay of him like fighting this beast, and it feels like it kind of gives me more Dragon's Dogma vibes. That's kind of like the vibe I got from it.
Yeah.
It looks super good. Being made by a studio that I don't think to my knowledge, I think they just made like mobile games and stuff. I'm not super familiar with the studio.
Side games.
We'll see.
Yeah,
Um,
the thing that really got me was the environment traversal. The way he's climbing,
yeah,
he's climbing to get high ground, and the
yeah,
beast falling or jumping or whatever,
yeah,
or even in one instance he's falling, the beast almost rolls over him
Mhm.
yeah,
as they're falling down some sort of rock face,
yeah.
and the look is
And
more of like a like almost like a knight,
yeah,
like more modern though. He has some interesting leather,
Mhm.
like almost Victorian jacket with
Yeah.
some knight stuff over. He has a knight shield for sure.
Yeah,
So
it's interesting.
yeah.
yeah.
It's maybe like
The
15,
aesthetic,
1600s.
yeah. The aesthetic kind of reminds me of Deep Down too. You guys think that is that a game that still exists?
I don't
I
know that ever
think
came out.
Yeah, I really wanted that one to come out, but
I mean, but like, is it still going to? It never officially got canceled.
No idea.
Is someone on this planet working on Deep Down?
it still says working title, release date to be announced. I mean, it's
Wonderful.
Capcom, they've moved
Yeah.
on. I don't know.
The other notable announcement from this press conference, probably the most notable, was a game called Judge Eyes, which is a game by the Yakuza team. It's basically like their next initiative is like Cosmos Story is done. Yakuza as a brand probably is not done, but I think it's going to go on the shelf for a while.
Mm.
But this takes place in the same universe as Yakuza, but it's about brand new character. You play detective, and you do detective things. It does play different than Yakuza. There is still fighting and combat, and that's relatively similar. But now you're also like you're picking locks, you're like taking pictures, you're investigating crimes and stuff. So like it's like a different thing. It's actually coming out very soon. It's coming out this year in Japan and
Damn.
like next year in the West. And it looks there's a budget behind this thing, man. Like this looks like
Yeah.
it's got a good budget. They are investing in a new IP, and
Well,
I find that really exciting. I really like that team.
one thing that's
So
really cool is the style looks exactly like Yakuza.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
yeah,
like, okay, well, why don't we just use, the Yakuza assets that we have? We'll create some new characters, create some new things that we have here and there, um, to like fill in the gaps of, things where, think it might not look proper or whatever.
hmm
And that's really cool. I love when companies do that. It reminds me of how, Ubisoft does that with Far Cry. Of like,
Mm.
let's make the game, and then the DLC will all just be shit of us just playing around with assets and things that we want to like make ridiculous. And I mean, this might not be ridiculous. It probably will be. But I mean, it does. It looks cool. Like every time I look at a Yakuza game, I'm like, man, I really need to get into that. And then I try, and I'm disappointed. And I get that feeling all over again with this.
Mm.
Then the next piece of information, probably most important, is as far as game announcements go. Because this is how they chose to end their press conference. Is they're making a Everybody's Golf VR.
Oh God.
So I Hotshot Golf, Everybody's Golf is a much more popular brand in Japan, I think, than over here.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're making a VR version of that. They're doubling down on VR and they're doubling down on Everybody's Golf. I don't know how well that'll play over here. We will see.
That's
I'm not
powerful.
super into golf games, so I didn't check out Everybody's Golf. I don't know if I'll be into that, but I do like VR. And then as far as game announcements, I think so. There was one other game announcement, and it was more of like the announcement of this. It's weird because it was given like very little gameplay, and it was more of an announcement of the studio, and the studio was already announced because they didn't even give a title of the game in the press conference.
Mm.
Studio Isotola, which is a Square Enix studio, which is being headed by a producer from the Tales series. And yeah, they just debuted like super early gameplay of like a character running through a field, and like the animation doesn't look very good, but the environments look interesting. So that's a new JRPG coming to us from Square Enix by the Tales producer, probably in like 5 years. Probably really long.
Okay, probably in 8 years.
Yeah.
2 more consoles.
A couple other small. Crystal Chronicles is getting a remaster.
Yep.
You guys can talk more about that during the Nintendo part.
Yep.
There's a game that was announced. I believe this was announced. Monkey King Hero is back.
Mhm.
And then speaking of MMOs, a mobile MMO is getting ported to the PS4 and kind of remastered. The game. The title was in Japanese during the press conference. So,
wow. Nailed it.
Yeah, new Earth Defense Force game coming.
Oh boy.
And then this is there's nothing to do with games. It's just interesting and also super annoying. It was a cool idea, but like I just don't like the way it was implemented. So they made everyone in the audience wear heart rate monitors, and they had a heart rate thing going. So like when new things were announced, you could see people's heart rate spiking, which is an interesting.
It's the fucking Wii heartbeat monitor.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea, but like in order to fit the heart rate monitor on the screen, they like made the gameplay smaller. Like they basically cut the screen in half, so half of it was the heart rate monitor, half of it
What the
was
fuck? Wouldn't the heart rate instantly go down when people saw their heart rate on?
It didn't,
That's
but
funny.
it was frustrating because like I want the trailer to be full screen. Like I wish they had just done picture-in-picture monitor in like the bottom right-hand corner. Instead, they split it in half. So that was annoying, but it's a weird idea. God of Year 3 got a new trailer. A couple things got new trailers. New Days Gone footage, actually. Like they brought a new trailer for TGS. New Sekiro trailer.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's a couple other small things. Oh, and then Kingdom Hearts, some Kingdom Hearts news. Do you guys want to talk about the new world, or do you think your audience is like media blackout on like the new Kingdom Hearts worlds?
We would usually, kind of graze over it. I mean, I don't think there's any media blackout. If they don't want to listen, it's Kingdom Hearts.
Okay.
So you can
this world's already also been announced before, just maybe some people would have missed it. So Big Hero 6 World. This was announced way back at like D23 a couple of years ago, but no gameplay was shown, and so they showed gameplay for Big Hero.
Right.
It looks, as the rest of the game does, great. And then they announced a VR Kingdom Hearts VR experience coming December of this year for free. It's gonna be about 10 minutes, and it's supposed to be like kind of taking you through the history of the franchise. So
that's smart. That's a smart move, I think. Just because the games came out forever ago, not everyone's going to go back and play everything like you, or they're not going to have that time to sit down and watch the probably like 48 YouTube videos that are showing off everything that happens in the
40 hours of cutscenes and stuff. Yeah,
exactly.
If your audience is looking for an in-depth history of the Kingdom Hearts franchise, doesn't want to play through all the games and doesn't want to sit there and watch all the cutscenes, I would recommend checking out Game Trailers, was a website that used to exist, but all their videos their assets were bought by IGN and they remain on YouTube. Kingdom Hearts timeline. I believe it's about an hour long, and it does a very good job of explaining that entire story in an hour. So it's a pretty good compromise if you want an in-depth breakdown of what happened but don't want to spend a whole day catching up. So check that out if you're interested.
I think I'm gonna personally do something like that myself.
I'm gonna do that right before 3 comes out.
Yeah, right before, like in the middle of playing the Resident Evil 2 remake, I'm gonna sit down and watch that. Just so I'm ready to go.
And then the last thing of note that I can think of in this press event was Deracine, if I think I'm pronouncing that right, got a release date of November 8th. This is, to those unaware, a From Software game that is going to be exclusive on PlayStation VR. To my knowledge, this is the first VR From Software game. It is a game in which you play a fairy helping out this little Victorian girl just like around the house. I do not trust that. I think this game is going to get really creepy. There's something about this game they're not telling you. Like this game is just too it's too
there's
too
not
strange.
enough.
Yeah.
They're
especially coming from
purposely.
From Software. Like there's
Hmm.
that they're just not telling you. So they
Yeah.
said it's gonna be roughly around 10 hours, so it's a whole real game. But there is some online speculation that it is also a PT of what PT was to Silent Hills is what this will be to Bloodborne 2. Like some people like are speculating like this is going to like end with like a trailer for Bloodborne 2, and this is like a prologue for it.
What are the actual odds of
Is
that?
that something you guys
I just
buy?
find that
You guys
so
buy?
unlikely.
I find that incredibly unlikely. But
Okay.
Possible.
I mean, you never know. Weird things.
Yeah.
I mean,
I definitely think that in 5 years somebody will be like, "Oh, this one scene was a direct reference to Armored Core 8." You know what I mean? Like that is guaranteed to happen, but that does. I don't
Sure.
know if they would do that.
Okay.
yeah.
All right. We'll see. I want to believe because I want Bloodborne 2 to happen, but I actually don't think Bloodborne 2 is in development.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think-
developers
I don't think
tend
Bloodborne 2 is
to
happening.
they tend to like to mislead, but
Mhm.
in this case, I mean, I do find it very odd that a company has, one style of game under their belt pretty much solely. This is the game that they're known for. Sure, they've done other things in the past, but in the past, 5, 8, whatever years, it's been like Souls. That's just what they've done. And for them to go, well, I think we're going to go ahead and take a look at VR. That's fucking weird. And it's not VR of them doing something like Soul style. So it is very weird. And I do think it'll be a precursor to something, but I don't know if I don't think it'll be Bloodborne 2.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, even if it's not, and it's just its own weird thing, and it doesn't lead up to anything else, like I'm into it. Like
Yeah.
there's a chance that it's just like the Miyazaki and the other people at that studio just like really wanted to do a VR thing. They had this weird idea about being a helpful fairy to this Victorian girl, and they're like, yeah, we'll do that. And it's fine. It can have nothing to do with their other properties and still be a really cool, fun game. So
I mean, if this turns out to be a horror title, like if day one people go, holy shit, that scared me so bad, I will go out and buy a PlayStation VR just for that.
okay.
I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
Like
I do hope that is scary. Part of me will be a little disappointed if it's just like a rated E for everyone, just like helping little girls like around the house with their chores.
Yeah.
I do hope there's like a weird, like it gets like real horror vibes for some reason.
But I don't know if they have I don't know if they have. I mean, they could do something horror, but we haven't seen anything like horror oriented in with gameplay. We've seen macabre, we've seen weird, we've seen slightly unsettling, but nothing that has been like scary.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It would be cool though. Like I want all of the horror titles. Like I want every single one of them.
And then that's about it for the press conference. There's couple other small announcements. There's some VR stuff that I don't think is ever coming out of Japan. Gungrave Gore got announced for like a CG trailer. There's not really much to talk about there. And a couple other just like really small things. Coming out on the 17th of January, that got a new trailer. Couple other things that's got new trailers and stuff, but yeah, that was about it. So I mean, it was pretty light, but what was good. Like the good stuff in that press conference was really good. Not too much else out of what I just talked about. Astrobot, another VR game coming as a platform based on that one mini game in the Playroom. Looks really good. It actually looks really good. That platforming mini game in the Playroom was one of my favorite things that I've done in VR actually, and so they're really going in on this Astrobot spinoff. I think this is gonna be fun. It's coming in October, so that's about it from TGS stuff. Not announced in the press conference, but also notable news is the Last Remnant remaster,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
which, like, again, kind of like Kingdom of Amalur, I'm just like, really?
Does anybody actually want this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm into it because I never played that, and apparently, like, the
Ooh.
360 version was reviewed really poorly because of tech issues, but the PC version reviewed much better because there was no, like,
Well, I mean, the PC version came out like 4 years later, if I remember.
I think it was just a year, but like
It was a fixed version.
yeah, it just didn't have the frame rate it had. So much, so that much of the problems with the game seem to be tech related, and I'm sure on this gen we're not going to have any of those issues. So I'll play it. I will play that game. It's just it's
This was like one of the last games that I think was a multi-disc game, right?
No,
think this
a
is
lot of stuff on 360 was multi-disc.
Yeah, L.A. Noire was multi-disc on 360. Like 360.
Witcher 3 was multi-disc on Xbox One.
Whoa, really?
Yes.
Really?
Weird. Okay. Why?
Huh.
Why? They're using Blu-ray discs now.
There was 2 discs. I don't know.
Okay. Weird. But that's it for my time, guys. I do have to go. Thank you so much for having me on the podcast. I always love being on.
Yep.
And yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of your podcast. I will see you next time.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, man. See you next time. All right. So we did kind of just jump into Last Remnant Remaster coming to PS4. That was one of the things we were planning on talking about. So we'll just go back to the top of the list. And we'll just keep on going. So after all of our talk about Spider-Man, here's a little bit more. It is getting a New Game Plus mode in the future. I don't think that there's a timeline, like we don't have a date or anything, but they said yes, it's working, and they're working on polishing it up. I'm thinking it'll be like under a month.
Yeah, so, I don't know. Like, I'm definitely never going to, experience a New Game Plus on Spider-Man. Like, I want to play the DLCs and stuff, but
well, it does it. I have to ask. Why would they do a New Game Plus? Like, I do enjoy New Game Plus when it is needed. Like, I think God of War. I think a New Game Plus was pretty useful. But I do question, why would you need a New Game Plus for?
Yeah, I mean,
it's not like you're gonna keep leveling up. By the end of the game, I was maxed out of everything.
Yeah, we're really gonna have to see what they're planning on adding.
That was the main thing that I said. Like, they have to have something else in
something huge. Yeah, I mean, it's probably just a higher difficulty, is what I imagine, because you can do the New Game Plus, which is, you have like easy, normal, and hard, very hard, and then they later add on extremely hard or whatever.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess, but I don't know. I feel like the mode to get me to play the game again. Like, I've already done this. I'm only playing this for the sake of playing the game on a harder mode. Like, that's basically, you're going to cause yourself frustration to play the game that you've already got everything for.
Right.
There's no need.
Right.
So I don't know. It's weird. But I do like that.
Definitely looking forward to that DLC though.
I like that they're showing that support. They're like, look, we're going to continue supporting this. And the DLCs, I'll probably pick those up as they come out.
And then I know earlier we kind of talked about the Kingdom Hearts VR experience that's going to be coming to PS4. We mentioned that really early on talking about Kingdom Hearts. So it is going to be a free 10-minute interactive video. It's coming out this holiday season, and it covers various moments from the franchise. So I don't really know too much about what this is really doing. It seems really weird, especially the fact that it's like a 10-minute little teaser. It's like, why even do this?
Yeah, it just seems like they're going to show key moments. You'll probably just end up getting your uh, like your bullet points of like what
Mm.
happened. Um, and I get that. Like I'm the kind of person who, like we had talked about before in the podcast, like I didn't play any of the side ones. I didn't play a single side game.
Mm.
I played one, went right into two, was confused for a bit, and then it all started to come together.
That's the way you should play.
And
to be
that's the
fair.
way I like to play. And I'm going to do that with 3. I kind of want to go back. Like I said, I'll probably do like a recap of everything that happened, but
Mm.
more than likely I won't. And I'll just jump right into 3 and be like, oh yeah, that happened in 2, and yeah, I don't know who that guy is. Okay,
Right.
they explained who that guy is. I mean that I think I'll be fine. And I think so will everyone else. But if you have a PSVR, you might as well.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check it out on the PSVR. But it's I mean, the 10-minute thing is like, how much can they possibly show?
Yeah, I just feel like you're going to be just sitting there. I don't think that there's going to be much action from the player.
Yeah.
I think you're just going to be like looking around watching like a 3-dimensional video.
Yeah. So that's kind of a weird thing that's happening, I guess.
Right.
Okay, so for the Nintendo Direct, do we want to just dig into the particular stuff that kind of stuck out?
Yeah. Why don't we go down the bullet points, and then if things start catching our eye, we'll kind of go back.
Okay. Yeah. So there's a ton of Final Fantasy stuff that was announced.
Yeah.
Specifically coming out on Switch, Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 9, the 10 and 10-2 collection, 12, 15 Pocket Edition, Chocobo's Mysterious Dungeon, World of Final Fantasy, and Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered are all coming to the Switch. Crystal Chronicles is also coming to the PS4, and then all of the rest of those are also coming to the Xbox One, but not Crystal Chronicles.
Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon!
Yeah, that's kind of weird, but yeah, so Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition is already out. Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon is coming out later this year. World of Final Fantasy is coming out in November, and we'll have to see about the rest.
Yeah, there's a good amount of stuff here. The Pocket Edition is like I don't know. It's already tainted with like the just 15.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of a thing. If you're a big Final Fantasy fan, this whole section is probably really cool for you. And
oh yeah,
as a pretty standard fan, I wouldn't say casual because I have a favorite Final Fantasy. I've been playing them forever. And like there's a lot of stuff here that's really really cool. But for the big fan, there's a lot of other stuff that's just like Pasty Pasta Man. Like he's probably going to be a big fan of the world of Final Fantasy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I catch him even playing it sometimes now, still on PS4.
Holy cow!
So I don't know, but yeah, I mean for us, I think the big ones are 7, 9, 10, 10, 2, and 12.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to get 12 on my Switch.
Yeah, I probably will as well, to be honest.
I'm really excited to dig into that again, and I think Switch is a good spot to do it because you can just put in 19 hours and not even notice.
Yeah.
I want to play 9 again.
I kind of want to play 9 and 7 again. I don't know why.
I definitely don't want to play 7 again. I played a lot of 7.
I played a fair amount of 7. Like I didn't go back and play it like 10 times or anything. But, I played through it once in like when it came out.
Okay.
And that was about it. 9.
And then, yeah, of course. Go ahead about 9.
I was like 9. I never I played through probably about 2/3 of the game, and then I never finished it. So
that was typical.
Well, it was a different time.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't own that game. One of my friends owned that game.
Oh, okay.
And he lent it to one of our friends, and then he played it, and then I got it, and I was playing it, and I got to I think it was one of the. Well, that was a multi-disc game, right?
Yeah, it was 4
Yes.
discs.
Okay, I thought that was 7 was 3 discs, right? I think so.
I think 7 was 4 too. I don't know.
But anyhow, I got to. It was probably like the 3rd disc or something like that of that, and it didn't work.
Mhm.
Because our
Damn.
other friend had just like fucked the
Scratched
game
it up.
entirely. And
Shit.
so yeah, I never got to play the end of that game, and
That
I sure
sucks.
as hell wasn't going to go buy a game for
1 disc.
one disc. So yeah,
All right.
but that was
I'm definitely excited for Crystal Chronicles too. That's gonna fuck me up.
yeah, it would be
I
fun
really
to play.
got into Crystal Chronicles at the time.
I didn't get crazy into it. It was more like here's the Game Boy Advance. Plug it in. That was the aspect that I loved about it.
Mhm.
Is plugging in your Game Boy Advance and like I have the map that has the dungeon. I can view the whole dungeon. We need to go left up here. And then another player is like, oh well, there's an item up ahead to the right, so maybe we want to cut right before we, go to the
Yeah.
left. I loved that teamwork aspect, and it's something these days I don't think could be recreated with anything outside of like your cell phone.
Mm-hmm. That could be cool though.
Could be cool, yeah. But I'm excited to check this out again. I'm not excited to. I'm not excited. Yeah, that was the one where you carried around the.
Yeah, you had to have like the
crystal,
right? Would like keep you safe. Yeah, yeah.
Because there's miasma around, and it'll kill you. Yeah, that was that one. I'm not excited to carry that thing anymore. We had a designated guy back then, and not having that around not gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Cool. Moving forward, I know you freaked out about this one.
Yeah, this really fucked me up. So, Nintendo had a trailer with it basically opened on Isabelle from Animal Crossing New Leaf, and I was just like fully creaming, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Like, Isabelle, we have a new Animal Crossing game coming out on Switch. And then they were like, at the end of it, Isabelle said some shit, and then she was like, "I'm so glad to be joining Smash." And I'm like, this little bitch just fucked me up. Like they're putting Isabelle in Smash, and she appears to be a totally separate character. Like she doesn't seem to be a rebuild of Villager.
Yeah, she has like specialty moves where she like pulls out a balloon or a broom and hits someone. She can like fish people up. She can set what are those little totems called?
Yeah, the little like digger dudes.
Yeah,
they like make noise or whatever. I forget what they're called, but yeah, she sets those dudes up.
Little
reflect attacks.
Little raccoon bros build a house, and that's probably one of her Smash moves or something.
Yeah, that's her Smash Ultimate or whatever.
Yeah, and it's like, God damn it, I don't want to play as this character. Like, and people are gonna get good with her, and then they're gonna beat me up with her, and I'm gonna be even more mad.
There's some extremely fucking good memes.
Yeah, she's just gonna be cheery and yeah, damn it. But that wasn't the only cool thing. I think you like.
So immediately after that, so they do that, and they like. I was playing League of Legends at the time, so like when they first showed Isabelle, I went in the group chat and I was like, "Oh shit, there's a new Animal Crossing coming out on Switch." And then and I was like, "Okay, no, it's not true. Isabelle is just going to be a character in Smash." So then some time went by, and at the end of showing off Isabella's play and everything, all of a sudden Tom Nook comes on screen. And he's like working on a laptop, and he looks over and he's like, and he's like, "Wow, that was pretty exciting for Isabella, huh? What do you think of that?" Well, anyways, I'm gonna make a new fucking house for you, and you're moving into a new Animal Crossing on Switch in 2019, bitch.
And then you kicked over your fucking computer desk.
I was like, "Roar!" It's crazy.
There's a few of our friends that literally just stood up in the middle of that thing and ran full speed through their wall.
Yeah, I got up and ran a smash into my door and passed out for an hour and a half. It was dope. So, yeah, we did.
You were dreaming.
Finally, another Animal Crossing coming out. I mean, again, Switch is like custom designed to play Animal Crossing on.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm really excited. We don't really have a solid date or anything. They just said 2019. I think it's probably gonna be mid 2019. It sounds like
they're trying to figure out how to work that Pocket Camp into the game.
Please don't.
They're
Pocket Camp was a huge letdown for me.
Yeah, it was not. It wasn't. I don't know. It was what
It wasn't
I
bad,
expected.
but it just was not good in any way.
It was what I expected.
Yeah.
But it is nice to know that they're doing an Animal Crossing.
I mean, they know what their fans want, and that, like, they're getting really, like, teasy with the Smash characters. And if we don't get a Waluigi... Okay, so Isabella was number 68. Isn't it perfect to have Waluigi be number 69?
I think it is. I think so.
So there has to be a Waluigi in this game. I don't believe that they won't put Waluigi in it.
They're gonna do a
Not after all the shit that fans have said.
They're gonna do a Waluigi like full teaser, and everyone's gonna be like, "Oh my god, what is this? What is this?" And then it's gonna say 69 real big, and it's still gonna have Waluigi's head there in the corner, and those fucking like shades are gonna come down, and a joint's gonna come down.
That'd be good. That would be really good.
Dude, the fans would just lose their shit.
I know I would. My shit would be gone, son.
That'd be so cool. So you know that was one of the big things.
Yeah.
One of the things that just surprised me, I'm going to skip over the next thing. You know, move on to the next video. Was the NES controller for the Switch?
Mm-hmm.
That I don't know. I looked at it and I was like, oh, it's just going to be like a useless thing that I probably won't want to even get. But with them talking about, you know, putting the, you know, more NES stuff on there, you know, like Dr. Mario, Donkey Kong, Double Dragon, Excite Bike, you know, Zelda, like, I mean, they showed off, you know, a fair amount of titles, and in this one pack for $60, you get 2 controllers that just snap onto the side of your Switch, like controllers to charge. Yeah, that's awesome. I think that's cool. I don't know. I was really surprised. I thought it was something that I wouldn't want at all, but it definitely is looking like something that I really, really want.
Yeah, those look really... I mean, they're bigger than regular controllers.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of... When they're slotted into the Switch, they stick out quite a bit more.
Yeah.
Which is pretty interesting.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if they'll... I imagine you could probably play your games with those if you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're pricing them out the exact same price as a... Actually, it's a little bit cheaper, isn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah, this is a little cheaper than standard Joy-Cons.
Okay.
I think Joy-Cons usually come out at like $79.
All right.
Well, maybe I was just looking at some of the the specialty color, like neon ones.
I mean, these ones don't have sticks.
No,
so
not at all.
I don't know how that would affect playability.
Yeah.
Maybe there's like a swap out for the stick or something. I have no idea. But yeah, that's why they're cheaper, because they don't have stick at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, they really want to lean on the NES stuff. So what we heard in the past about getting the free NES games monthly with the Nintendo subscription for the online service, which starts on the 18th, by the way. That's true, and they really want to lean into the NES stuff. I think that's a good market that they have. And we'll just kind of quickly breeze through some other stuff. You can kind of hop around whatever looks good. Fortnite will not require a subscription to Nintendo Online to play online. Epic just kind of bought a free slot, basically.
Yeah.
Your cloud saves that come with the service could actually be destroyed if you ever let your subscription lapse. So make sure you have that on auto renewal.
And that shouldn't be something that you should...
That's fixable.
It's really easy. I mean, it's not that I disagree that they should, like, if you're not paying for the service, you shouldn't have the service. I mean, I definitely see that, and I get that.
That's understandable. But it should just force a download to your system and then delete the online files.
Yeah. But it's something like letting it lapse is something this day and age that shouldn't happen. It's $20 a year. I mean, that's very manageable for literally anybody who plays video games. Even if
I mean,
you're
that's like the cheapest possible thing you can do in a game.
even if you're a 6-year-old kid who just started playing video games, you can somehow scrounge together $20 a year. You can con your parents into buying you that. Like,
Just fucking put your mom's credit card on it.
it's super easy.
Don't even ask. $20. Nobody's gonna notice.
Yeah, and that should never lapse. Like, who knows what they'll do for Black Friday? Like, I noticed, like, I'm gonna start buying all of my PlayStation Plus, like, during Black Friday and get it $20 off or whatever.
Up to.
Yeah, I mean that's my plan. I actually just did a 3-month. I just did a 3-month thing just so I can make sure that that's where I'm at.
But yeah, so that's something to potentially look out for. Splatoon version 4 was announced. There's new weapons and new features. We're not really going to dig into that because nobody gives a shit. There's going to be a couple console Switch bundles. There's going to be a Super Smash Brothers Switch bundle. And there's also a Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee bundle. That one's pretty cool. The Smash bundle doesn't actually look very good in my opinion. We're going to get a bunch of board game, digital versions of board games on the Switch, including Carcassonne, Pandemic, and more. There's some more stuff coming out on the 3DS, mostly ports of Wii U games, it looks like. City Skylines is now available on Nintendo Switch. I definitely wouldn't recommend that, but if that's how you want to play it, go ahead. Mario Tennis Aces DLC is adding new characters and modes. So if you're interested in Mario Tennis Aces, definitely dig into that.
Game Freak's announced Town.
Yep.
Which is a working title.
It's a working title. Sort of like a RPG action survival game set in a single town where there's like monsters invading your town and you have to like fight them back, I guess. Yoshi's Crafted World is coming to Switch in spring. Super Mario Party, they talked more about it, and there's a single player mode, and they talked about more video games. Mini games, I mean. Capcom has a beat 'em up bundle coming for Switch that has online play.
Civ
New
6.
Super Mario Bros. U. Civ 6 is coming out. Luigi's Mansion 3 is announced on Switch from 2019. It's a working title. Oh, this was big for me. Katamari Damacy reroll.
Yes.
It's coming this holiday, right?
Yeah, I think it was this holiday.
Something like
I haven't
that.
ran across it in this video yet.
A ton of stuff. Diablo 3 is coming out on Switch on November 2nd. There was a lot. And there's a little bit of leakage ahead of time, like Civ 6 leaked because they had like things set to go live on that original Nintendo Direct day that they ended up postponing due to the earthquake.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kind of scrolling through the news to see if there's anything else, and I'm not seeing too much more. So, that online service for the Nintendo Switch starts on the 18th, so probably jump on that, I would say, as quick as you can. I'm not really sure how you buy into that yet, but...
I'm sure just pick your system up.
Yeah,
just pick your system up on the 18th, and it'll be right there.
Yep. And I mean, there's a lot of good stuff. This was a pretty good Nintendo Direct. It's like 38 minutes if you want to watch the whole thing. So, I mean, realistically, it's not much longer than us sitting here talking about it.
Right.
But yeah, it's definitely something to check out. And there's a lot of cool stuff. That Animal Crossing tease at the end, if you watch that, they just totally, like, twist your nutsack off. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, they knew what they were doing. They're like, well... That's smart, though. They're really... Like, Nintendo is really pacing themselves on what they want to do. They know what their fans want, and they're tackling it like one thing at a time.
Right.
So you notice, like, this one was very much an Animal Crossing event. It turned into an Animal Crossing event.
At the end, it did.
Right. I mean,
it was kind of like... I mean, this Nintendo Direct overall is like... It sort of felt like a year in review. A little early, because it was like, hey, here's what we're doing with the 3DS. They announced a bunch of 3DS games. Here's what we're doing to support these games that are currently running and we think are doing pretty good. Mario Tennis, Splatoon 2. And they kind of saved all the surprise stuff for the end, which was all Animal Crossing. So they're like, You're in review, here's what we're doing, here's what we've done, here's the online service detailed a little bit more. And then at the end, it was like, oh, and here's what we're looking forward to.
Yeah, and by me saying like that's what they, they're kind of tackling it one thing at a time. I just mean in like almost the direct. Like
Mhm.
we got the announcement of a Luigi's Mansion, but
Yeah.
Luigi's Mansion isn't as massive as
Oh, Luigi's Mansion doesn't hold a candle to the power of Animal Crossing.
exactly. And it's
Yeah.
like Animal Crossing is really big, but people like Smash more.
Yeah, Smash
So-
is more like popular.
So yeah, that's what it was like. And Pokemon, I think, is even more powerful than Smash. So it was
Yeah,
like,
and
let's
everybody
announce-
knows what's going on with Pokemon, so that's all been handled in separate directs. I
Yeah.
guess.
So it was like Pokemon, Smash. Here we are with Animal Crossing. They're trying to chop down that tree, like of things that fans want. And it's like with
Yeah, with the
every
gold
swing, something else falls off, falls off the tree.
Yep.
And then that's a really good approach. I think that's a good approach.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah.
cool.
That's pretty cool. I mean, the Nintendo Direct overall, like I said, was really good. Definitely check out the video. It's not too much to watch.
Right. Yeah, we had this was kind of a weird podcast since we had someone in the beginning and then they kind of bounced out halfway through, which we have done before. But we bounced around a lot, and we didn't actually have any games releasing that were like big and noteworthy.
That was a weird part. Yeah.
So yeah, that was kind of weird. But there were some other things. If there is something that you wanted to see, and you're like, why didn't they talk about that? That was big. Drop us a line over on Twitter at Mammoth Games Inc. You can also hang out over there, ask us questions, and anything that you want to see on the show, you can get from there. As well, follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Mammoth Games Inc. Drag the like button. All the comments and shares are appreciated. It's the surefire way to talk with us on a daily. So make sure you're going and doing that. The only other thing that we had was there was a tech demo for Atomic Heart that kind of popped out there. I actually didn't watch this. You brought this to my attention. I didn't know.
Yeah, I checked it out a little bit. It was shown off with NVIDIA during Gamescom, so this was like right toward the end of Gamescom. This is sort of just showing off a little bit of it's like character models within sort of like a museum to like look at some things they're working on in the game. Just kind of show off the RTX effect being on and off, and show that some of the difference of how it'll automatically trigger things on the card. And it's there's a lot of games that come out on PC especially that's like, hey, this works best on AMD Radeon 9780 or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, this is just kind of one of those little show offs. But we get to see a bunch of cool assets. I don't know if this has all been seen before in trailers necessarily. I'm not like, I haven't been super keeping up on this game.
We've seen some of these, we've seen the environments, we've seen some of the characters, but we haven't seen it running on something like this. And saying that we're seeing it run on like a top of the line graphics card, I think is still saying, we still really haven't seen the game.
Yeah.
And this isn't even a representation of the game. I mean, this is just showing you things that are in the game while broken through the fourth wall, basically.
Right. And they're like, I mean, this really is a tech demo. This is, when Quantic Dream had the Kara demo, that was not showing off their next game. I mean, ultimately it was, but really what they were doing there was, look at what we can do with this current technology on a PS4. And it took them like fucking 6 years after that to get the game out. So it's pretty interesting to kind of see how the tech is working here. Like they're reflecting this like, I don't know, water or gas jug or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're showing like, okay, once we turn this on, look at the reflections.
The infinite reflections.
Yeah. So it is really interesting. It's basically handling like ray tracing, which is, if I understand properly, it's like following casted rays, which is like light. And it allows the graphics card to split up the job of tracing what like every beam of light would do. So it sort of, I mean, it's, you know, something that you have to be able to handle or whatever, but it's, you know, you have to program for it. This is not automatic, like your graphics card does this on its own, but it makes it a lot easier for developers to have mirrors be more reflective because it can follow, you know, it allows the graphics card to follow what beams of light are doing through mirrors, through shadows, through like environmental effects.
Yeah, there's a lot of shortcuts that video game develop. Like all of it's an illusion to make you think that things are happening. Like they'll bake in some of the lighting. So if there's a really strong beam of light that doesn't really move, they'll just bake it in. It'll be there permanently, and that's not something that's held together with a like a dynamic light. Let's say you're using like Unreal Engine. They use dynamic lights if you want the person that walks by it, their shadow, to follow on the floor, and you use static lights to just cause a static, like
like the static
light
stuff. That would be like, you know, just a light in a room. Like if you're not going to be looking at your feet, then it doesn't really matter if it's casting a shadow live or if it's just always there. You know, things like God rays, like weather effects in the distance, can be baked.
Right. And so, you know, a lot of these things get kind of like pushed away, especially mirrors. They will always they'll take a screenshot, or not a screenshot, they'll take an image from the mirror and they'll get like what everything looks like, and then they'll flip it and they'll just like, they would usually just paste that on like over where a mirror is, and then they'll blur it to make it look like, okay, that's a mirror. I know that's a mirror.
It's really hard to do mirrors generally, like reflective surfaces.
And you know, it's not hard. It's just it takes so much processing. It takes it's like doubling your room. It's like taking running two rooms in one. And they've really found a way to optimize that, which is nice. And like lighting, they've really started to figure that out a lot more in video games, which is
do we know?
Which is really good.
Is this looks like it's probably Unreal, right?
I have no idea. I assume it's Unreal.
I just thought of that. I was like, wait a minute, your graphics card really doesn't matter if you're in like a shit engine. So I don't know. I was looking at it, and I didn't really see anything.
I just looked them up. It doesn't actually say.
I think it's probably Unreal.
Yeah.
Looks Unrealish to me.
Yeah, it's like one of the things that I noticed that's a really cool illusion that people will definitely miss. Next time you're playing Spider-Man, climb on the building and go to a corner. And like they've created these rooms that look like they have doors and they have like objects in them. But sometimes you'll go to the corner of a building and they'll have a door that leads out to the window that you just crawled from. So it looked like it'd be just a door that leads to the outside and you'd fall clean off a building.
Yeah.
And they just created all these little like procedural rooms, and you know, there it is.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It is. Damn, I still can't find it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at the system requirements. I see.
That's what I was hoping it would show, like an update to Unreal Engine 5 or later, but it didn't.
Nope. So I don't know. I look forward to seeing more of Atomic Heart. It looks really cool. That fun, like cross between. Man, it's almost like Dying Light and like Bioshock.
Yeah.
It has that like haunting feel that you got when you were playing like Dying Light, because that city was just overrun, and you know you could
everything was dangerous. Yeah.
Everything, yeah. So yeah, go check that out. Go check out that tech demo, and yeah, let us know what you think. But that's it for us, guys. Thank you for hanging out. But until next time, I am Nightswarm.
And I'm Filtercord.
Have a good one.
Cool.
Oh, Dick.
Oh, Dick. Oh, Dick.
Oh, man. I'm gonna like maybe we'll show that one next week. Like that one was really funny. Alrighty. It was 66. And we're creeping so close.
3 more. All right, I gotta go piss. I'll be right back.
All right.
Got a monster donkey piss waiting on me this whole time.
All right, I think we'll wrap up the stream here, guys. Few people that did pop in and pop out, thank you. Get at us over on Facebook, facebook.com/Mammoth Games Inc., and we'll see you next time.